Okay, we are live, man. Good evening, Podcast Nation and world. Welcome to What's Good with Gil and Larry. I'll be Larry. That'll be my man Gil. Tonight, man, I want to get to the meat and potatoes. We have a great show lined up for tonight, Wednesday, October 25th. Tonight's show, we want to go over the pre-NBA, all predictions, the rosters, what we feel is going to be playoff contenders and also pretenders. We have the business of college football. We're going to just briefly go into some marquee games this weekend. Obviously, we want to talk about the NFL and all picks and everything. And a great week on that too for you, Gil. You had a great week. If you're a betting person, man, Gil set you up for the money this week, man. Last week, so hopefully you can keep that trend going on. But I'm not gonna waste too much time. Let's get to the business, man. We're gonna talk about this World Series, brother.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I fell for the banana tailpipe. Because I told you early that out of being a Philly hater, and condolences to all the Philly fans out there. I know I get on your squad so much, but that got to be heartbreaking to lose a world that y'all could have literally went to the World Series, and I believe y'all would have won it this year. I truly believe that y'all would have beat Texas in the World Series. But that is like water beneath the bridge. That is yesterday. That is not going to happen. So we have to deal with the reality. Arizona played an outstanding game. They went into a hostile environment and they just took the life out that crowd, and they played just a great game. Pitching was on point. They were spotty. They hit some big balls. They just stepped up when they had to step up, my brother. And once again, I feel for Philly, man, because I really thought they was going to win this year, but I fell for the banana tailpipe. Like, it's Philly, man. It's what they do. They let you up to let you down. You know what I'm saying? But what's your opinion on that, my brother?
Well, I guess the first thing that comes to mind for me is home field advantage, especially in baseball, doesn't really exist anymore in the playoffs. Look at all these road wins these teams had. And especially thinking about the Phillies winning their first two games and then having game 6 and game 7 in Philadelphia. The crowd was into it, and it really had no effect at all on Arizona Diamondbacks. So I got to give Arizona a lot of credit for not, for taking that early punch from the crowd and shutting them up, around, inning 4, I guess, from 4 on. They were in control. Hey, listen, hats off to them. Once again, after the Phillies do really well with the bats, they excuse me. They have one of those. And I know that's not really hurting your feelings. It's not really hurting my feelings either, other than the fact that I thought Philadelphia was going to the World Series. And I actually thought they were going to play the Astros again.
I did.
And the Astros choked it up too.
I mean,
same thing. The home field really didn't exist. A lot of road wins. I give a ton of credit, to the Rangers and that manager, Bruce Bochy. Dude flat out knows how to manage. He is old school, and it still works. I'm not saying that we should cancel out analytics and all these guys that have these analytics jobs, because all they're really doing is giving you information.
Right.
That's what they're doing. It's up to you whether you want to go with it or not. Exactly. But Bochy's like, no, I got my way, and thanks for the information, but I'm going to do it my way, and it works out for him so much. Just think about it, man. He's been to the World Series with 3 different clubs.
Yes.
San Diego.
Yes.
He won it 3 times with San Francisco. And now he's going back with Texas.
Which I personally think that they're going to win. I mean, I'm rooting for them because they come out of our conference. We're Yankees fans, so obviously I'm supporting the ALCS all day, all day. So I'm definitely with. And I just believe that they just, man, with the way they beat Houston, the way they beat Baltimore, like they beat some high quality squads, man. And I mean, they put a thumping on Houston in Houston. Like, I looked up, man, and it was over in the 6th inning, bro. 6th, 7th inning, it was done. They was up I think 8-2. It was bad. It was bad. And I think Philly is known for the wrong thing. I know they're known for cheesesteaks, but I really think they're known for peanut butter sandwiches.
Oh man.
With no jelly. no jelly. Dry saltines with no salt on them. The driest kind. You
Yeah.
choke on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Mm.
kudos to I can't wait to see the series though, bro. I can't. You got
Really?
an 8-point game.
You're interested. That's funny
I
because
am.
I was going to ask you a question about that, and you've actually answered it for me before I asked.
Sure.
The question was going to be, now that we know it's going to be the Rangers and the Diamondbacks, were you going to go out of your way to watch some of this series? I'm not saying all of it. I'm not saying every inning, but make a conscious effort to watch some of it. Or was it going to be, and this is what I actually thought you were going to pick, was it going to be where you're flipping through the channels and when what you really want to watch is on commercial, you come across the World Series and say, oh yeah, I'll watch this for 5 minutes until my regularly scheduled program comes back from commercial or whatever. So I was going to ask you that, and I thought you were going to pick option number 2, but you're obviously not going to do that.
Nah, brother, I'm actually curious because I think the path to the World Series actually went the same way. If you look at it, which is rare that it happens that way. On the NL side, right? They beat the Dodgers. Arizona swept the Dodgers. You win the Philly. Y'all took them to a game 7 and you beat them in Philly, which is a hostile environment, right? You go to the AL side. They swept Baltimore, was a 104-game winner this season, right? And then you went to Houston, game 7, and you beat Houston in a game 7. I mean, you can't make this up, bro. So I'm curious to see, because I don't know who's really going to win. Because I can't count Arizona out, obviously, because they show me grit, fight. They got pitching. They got hitters. They got small ball placers. They got good management. On the same equation, Texas got the same exact squad to me. Maybe a little bit beefier on the hitting side, but still, I think it's going to be a great matchup because it's not what we're seeing in normally in the World Series. Normally we see kind of same squad, so it's definitely a refreshing thing to see 2 squads that me and you personally did not see going to the World Series. And you can't tell me beginning of the season you had Texas and you had Arizona, who for the most part finished bottom in that division for the last couple of years, right? And Texas too, bottom feeders, bro. Now they're going to the World Series.
Correct.
You can't make this up, bro. It's great for television.
I don't think ratings wise, this is what what they wanted. No big market really.
No.
But matchup wise, it's good to see new blood. Got tired of seeing Houston in there.
Yeah.
And
Dodgers.
I thought Philly was going back. They're not going back. And I agree with you. I agree with you on 2 things. Shocker. I agree with you. Number 1, I do think the Texas Rangers are going to win, and they are who I want to win. And number 2, I typically do root for the American League teams. Maybe not so much in the World Series, but during the All-Star game, I'm always hardcore with the AL teams. Always. And up until this year, the AL usually won for the last couple decades. But you're right. I'm not really sure how I feel about the attention I want to give the series. I'm kind of leaning towards number 2, where I'm going to watch it while it's commercial for something else. But if the series, the first couple games are exciting, if it's like 1-1 after 2, and they're not lopsided, like each one is close going into like the 8th or 9th inning, then they'll probably grab me. Because I'm a sports guy, so I'm a sucker like that. But I'm going to say game 1, game 2, I'm probably not going to be, too into that because, as you know, NHL just started up, the NBA just started up, and football is still king in the United States of America.
Yes, sir. And speaking of football, man, I want to touch on. I had 3 games on the schedule that I'm curious to see this weekend for us college boys. All right.
Okay.
And the prime time to me is, last week, and once again, you were right on your college pick. You picked Ohio State, and your reasons were valid. Penn State, up to that point, didn't have a challenge. They didn't play anybody. So they had a soft schedule up to that point. And Ohio State did what they was supposed to do, which was they played great ball. The quarter and the Marvin Harrison Jr. He's definitely the real deal, bro. He's definitely the real deal. You know, he went for 143 off of 9 catches. Yeah. And he had single man double. I don't care what you threw at him, he was just beating you. And it was poised. But this week, we're back to the Pac-12. Because this week that's like the looking at the slate of games, I was like, the games that stood out to me was Oregon. 8th ranked Oregon plays Utah. 12th ranked Utah. Okay. Oregon, as we know, just came off a big win. And we know Utah to be USC, which we already know they're deficient on the defensive side. So this is back-to-back losses for Caleb. So we know he's not getting the Heisman this year. That's just not happening. I just don't see it happening. I actually think that Penix Jr. is going to win. If he can win out, he'll probably get it from the quarterback for Washington, right? I like Utah. Utah is a defensive ranked team. They're 20th total defense. And as we know, Oregon is an offensive team. So you got a great offensive team going against a pretty stout defensive team. I'm leaning towards Oregon only because of the history that Oregon kind of owns Utah. And I feel like you, when it comes trends and things of that nature, when a team has your number, I think they has your number, and it's mostly mental. So I think you try to get up to try to out-coach the coach, and he just has your number. So I'm going to lean towards Oregon for the win this week. And what's your opinion on that one, on that particular game?
Okay, well, first thing, getting back to the Penn State-Ohio State thing, remember I also said that the head coach of Penn State, James Franklin, has never won, that I can remember, a big game, especially on the road, and that trend continues.
Indeed.
And as far as Oregon and Utah, that is also, to me, the marquee game, another Pac-12 game. That's funny. And I'm going to go with Oregon again because they have one of the Heisman hopefuls. Their quarterback is another one of those guys. So when the trend kind of leans towards Oregon and they are the higher ranked team, even though, Utah's ranked, and Oregon has the quarterback, to me, it's an easy pick. I mean, I could be wrong, obviously. They still got to play the game. But as far as picking it, to me, it's easy. I don't even think it's that close for me in my head. To me, it's Oregon all the way.
Indeed.
It was a big deal for Utah to once again beat USC because USC is one of those marquee, big market. They're kings. Before the Rams and the Chargers came back,
USC, man.
the Trojans were the pro team. They were the college team that was considered the pro team down there, and they have not lost any fans since, even though now pro teams do play there. Because SoFi has more fans from the visiting team than they do.
Right about that.
Especially when the Chargers play. Especially what's going to happen this weekend. I'm talk about that later. But yeah, to agree with you, Oregon for sure is my pick over Utah. I'm hoping for a good game. I'm hoping for a high scoring game, but I could see it being like a 35-25 kind of deal.
I agree. And the next big game I want to talk about, man, is actually the ACC, and that's Duke playing Louisville, bro. Duke just came off for a heartbreaking loss on Florida State, and as we know, their quarterback Leonard, he was hobbled, bro. He was playing off a bum ankle, so they shot him some cortisone and stuff. But it's hard when their offense. His game is really breaking it down when he scrambles. That's his strength. He's a quarterback that can actually take off on you. So when you limit him, not saying that he couldn't get it done with his arm, but just him being not even 100% kept him in the game. Because without him, probably got blown out down there. It was a great game. Florida State pulled it out, but I'm really looking forward to seeing this Louisville game. And we're talking about Duke, bro. We're talking about Duke, a basketball school, never been known for football. That defense is real. They really have a good defense. I know Louisville runs the ball heavy. They're 6-1, higher ranked. But crazy it may sound, man, I'm actually leaning towards Duke. I'm not sold on Louisville yet. I'm not, I'm not sold on them yet, brother. I'm just not sold yet. They got to convince me. I'm not convinced. I think the 6-1 record is one of them puffed up records, you know.
Hmm.
So I'm leaning towards Duke. I'm actually leaning towards, me in my opinion, a better defensive team, and I think the defense will actually win this game for them. In your opinion?
Well, I agree with you in the sense that Duke and North Carolina, both known for being basketball schools, have actually come around and done pretty well in recent years as far as the football program goes, especially having a few guys get drafted high.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to happen. I think there's a couple guys on Duke's defense that's probably going to, make third, fourth round this year. If they, assuming that they come out. And I think the same thing North Carolina. I'm just saying basketball schools,
right?
ACC basketball schools that are doing pretty well in college. I mean, their quarterback, North Carolina's, he's probably going to be the number 2 quarterback to come out this year, which means he's probably going to go either 2 or 3. It's going to matter on what Caleb Williams does. And by the way, to get back to Marvin Harrison Jr., you better have a top 3 pick if you want that boy. You better have a top 3 pick.
You got to.
Him, because he's not going to go any further than 3, assuming that Caleb and Carolina's quarterback comes out. Getting back to what you were talking about, I'm going to disagree with you with the pick for Duke and Louisville. I actually think Louisville did show me something because they beat Notre Dame. They beat Notre Dame a couple weeks ago. They beat Notre Dame before they played USC.
Right.
They were sandwiched right in between Ohio State and USC. Now, you can say that was a look-pass game, and you're probably right. But they played. Louisville won, and they won pretty convincingly. Did Notre Dame look flat? Yes, they did. Of course they did. They did. And I think if they played again, whether it's Louisville or Notre Dame, I think Notre Dame wins. But I can only go by what I can go by. And they played, and like I said, I need to see a team beat a real team, like a ranked team. Louisville did that. They did that. Duke, up until last week, was having a good year, and if they didn't lose last week, I probably would have picked them because I think Florida State's pretty good. Florida State's going to have one of those edge rushers that's going to go high. He's probably going to go top 10 in next year's coming draft, 2024. But I'm going to go Louisville. I think they showed that they can beat a good team because they beat a good team this year. And Duke is pretty good, but I don't think Duke is as good as Notre Dame. And I think Duke has to be on their, P's and Q's to beat Louisville because Notre Dame wasn't, and they lost.
They definitely did.
I'm going to go with Louisville on this one. Cardinals.
America, we have our first disagreement. Okay, it works. It's what we do it for. It's what we do it for, brother. We're not always going to agree on everything. And before I get to NFL, because we're going to kind of switch up the tempo a little bit, because like I said before, we really want to get into our NBA special, because this is like our NBA special, y'all. So we really want to get to that. So I don't want to waste too much time with just getting into all football too much. So I just got one more game for college boys, and obviously we can't let the ball drop with Coach Prime. Is it a marquee game? It's always a marquee game with Coach Prime, but it's not really a marquee because it kind of losses. The air has been kind of deflated a little bit with the losses, especially that loss to Stanford. That's just disappointing. So it kind of put us back into reality, is that it's a work in progress. I always go back to when Nick Saban first went to Alabama, brother. We didn't have too many expectations for him when he went to Alabama. Do you? I know it's been so long and so many championships away. I remember too. I definitely remember.
I remember how he left Miami.
Yes,
I remember.
Yeah. So when he went to Alabama, we wasn't talking about Alabama, brother. So it took him time to develop what he developed, which is a winning culture, Heisman's, you name it. Draft picks is guaranteed. You're going to go get some boys out of Alabama. Okay. So once again, Prime is going to take time to build this program. Okay. I think obviously you got to pick confidence in your team. You got to kind of bring the mojo. You got to change the culture. Okay. Because when you have a team that's so used to losing, it's hard to say, hey, you're a winner. You want to tell them you're a winner. Like, how you tell your kids, you're a winner. But in your mind, I don't think my kid is going to win at this particular sport, but I can't deflate him, right? They go play UCLA this weekend, which is another ranked team, another Pac-12 team, you know. And they had Travis Hunter back. I think he's 100% healthy now because I think that first game he wasn't 100, but he still showed you what he could do, not even being 100, right? They really got to be disciplined, focused. At the end of the day, it's not the skill players for me, man. I like the receivers. I think the running game is, it's choppy at times. It's not consistent enough for me. But it's the defense, man. They bring no pressure. I watch every game they done played thus far, and them four up front don't bring no pressure. Rush 3, rush 4, it's nothing. In the middle, they're giving up chunk yards. It's defensively, it's too many liabilities, And offensively, if the offense is not clicking, is not like the Oregon game, they couldn't get it going, threes and outs. Your defense isn't good enough to say, hey, we're going to carry you this game. To jump on our back. We got you. It's not that. Eventually, I believe that coach will get the big boys, them 6'5", 300-pound nose tackles and them edge rushers that could bring pressure, because that's what he's really going to need far as to get the program when he wants to go at. So I'm picking UCLA. I think it'll be another blowout, honestly. I hate to say it, but I don't believe that there is going to be competitive. I could be wrong. It's not like UCLA is a dominant Pac-12 team, but, I don't see Colorado being a master the intensity of the moment. They didn't show me too many times. They don't give me a whole full game. I have not seen a full game yet. Okay. And what's your opinion on that particular game?
Well, getting back to what you were talking about, Colorado's defense, you remember Coach Prime when they were winning at the beginning of the year, he said, all we need is like 7 or 8 more dogs and we're ready. Okay, well, if you need 7 or 8 more dogs to be ready, 5 or 6 of them need to be on defense for sure. You don't need a whole lot on offense because you guys can score. Maybe you need an offensive lineman, maybe you need another running back, but they can score. Mm-hmm. But you're right. They can't get into a shootout with the real schools, the real Pac-12 schools. And UCLA, they're okay. They're a notch under USC. They're probably 2 notches under Oregon, 2 notches under Utah, but they're a notch above Colorado. I think Colorado will respond. Here's where we differ. I think they will respond, and I think they will make this a game. And I could see UCLA jumping on them at some point in the game and Colorado coming back because Coach Prime's not going to allow that team to just roll over and die. Not to UCLA. In my opinion, I don't think that's going to happen. I do think UCLA wins. I don't know what the number is for that, but I think they win in single digits. I think they win by 6.
They got
something like that.
Because they got them at 15.5 point spread on that.
Well, then I would definitely 100% take Colorado for sure. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. Yeah. I think Coach Prime is going to have his guys ready, and he's going to give them realistic expectations. Mm-hmm. Saying, again, the whole world's against us. Go through the whole speech, and he'll be real with them and say, listen, this is the kind of team that's got more Jimmies and Joes than we got right now. Can you play with them? Can you give them a scare? Can you be within 10 at halftime? Can you be within 10 in the fourth quarter? If we can make it to where it's only a 2-possession game going into the fourth quarter, we got them. That's what you convince them. We got them. All we got to do is win the fourth quarter. They can win or tie 1, 2, and 3. We just got to win the fourth quarter. And I could see them, getting within 3 points, getting a touchdown, and now UCLA is a little tight. I could see a couple turnovers happening in the fourth quarter because these kids are a little tight. I could see these coaches all of a sudden, their butt cheeks get real tight in the fourth quarter. Ultimately, I think UCLA wins, but I think UCLA holds on. I think Colorado makes a game of it. I think they give them a scare. Take Colorado with the points. That's my prediction on the game.
Okay. Hey, man, you heard Gil, man. Take Colorado. Take Colorado with the points. 15.5. Like you said, it's a steep number. UCLA, I'm still leaning towards. I just think that Stanford loss, man, it was just like Stanford, bro. They're like the bottom of the Pac-12, and, uh, and I don't know, bro. I'm tired of keep siding with a team that I really don't believe in. I know the pieces that he needs is not there yet. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But as bad as I want to root for the team, it's just that they haven't shown me a full game yet. So I'm definitely leaning toward UCLA on that.
You've got your reasons. It's okay if you're wrong,
Yeah,
because I can tell that you want to be wrong. You want
I definitely
Carolina,
want to be
you want
wrong in this pick.
Colorado
I do.
to win. You want
I
them
do.
to exceed expectations, like I do. Not everyone agrees with us as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, yeah. They
Uh,
jumped on the
but
wagon.
yeah, but listen, we got our reasons. Just go with it. If you're wrong, you're wrong.
Yeah.
It makes sense. UCLA today is the better team, so it's not a
Yeah.
bad pick when you pick the better team. Upsets happen,
Oh,
but you're picking the better team.
so it leads me to my segue then. You brought me into a great segue. So we're talking about teams that are supposed to win. We're talking about teams that are supposed to dominate teams. We're talking about teams that are 8.5-point favorites, right? And then you told me. You told me. I said, listen to Gil. I said, listen to freaking Gil. I'm going to Buffalo. Okay, I'm going to leapfrog to the NFL and just jump right into it. Buffalo let me totally down. Okay, totally, right? And I don't know if it's because it was Bill Belichick's 300th win that he was going for. Because right now at this point, he's just chasing wins greatness. You know what I mean? He's not even chasing a reality of making a playoff or anything of that nature. It's just for him, his legacy at this point. Okay, but come on, man. Come on, man. Buffalo is like that enigma, man. It's like, come on, man. You beat Miami by 28. 28. And you go to the New England, who's been struggling, who lost to the Raiders. By the way, congratulations to you on that. We'll get to there too. And you'll drop the ball. Drop the ball. Defense, it was so flat. It was like a soda that it was like looking at drinking a flat soda. They look flat, no spunk. And then they don't have no run game, none. Their running game is Josh Allen. That's bad when your quarterback is your running back. I don't have enough words to describe how mad and disappointed I was, man. I'm telling you, I had them on all the cards, brother. I lived and died by Buffalo, and they let me down, man. They let me down, man. I'm hurt right now, man. I'm still hurt. And you was on point, man. I just seen the way the first quarter went when I said, oh, man, it's going to be one of them days. It's going to be one of them days. I just seen it. I said, oh, my goodness. Gil was 100% right. You said you were taking the Patriots. Give it to me, brother.
You pretty much said it all. I actually thought the week before I had better picks than I did this past week, but that's football. You got to pay attention to the number.
Yeah.
And there's just some good teams that we just assume this good team is going to beat this mediocre to bad team. And sometimes the good team is just not as good as you expect them to be. And sometimes the bad team's not as bad as you expect them to be. The Patriots were what the Patriots are. I think their quarterback had his best game.
Indeed.
But the injuries are starting to mount up for Buffalo. As you said, their only running game is their quarterback. That ain't good. And in a close game, listen, we make fun of Belichick, but I'm going to take Belichick every time over McDermott from Buffalo, who I think is just one of those kind of typical defensive-minded head coaches that are good during the week, and they're good for getting you psyched for the game, but when the game is tight and you've got to make decisions, they're lost. They don't manage clock. They don't do play calling. They become a bystander, and they get emotional on the sideline, and they just start bitching. And I noticed that with this guy. when the game is tight, you can almost assume he's going to make the wrong decision.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of guys
Oh
that
my
do
goodness.
that. A bunch of defensive head coaches in particular that do that.
Buddy Ryan.
Belichick might be the exception
Yeah.
because he's Belichick. So he's done
Indeed.
so much winning. He knows what to do because he's been around and he's won and he had Brady and stuff like that. And you had a guy that can take care of stuff, and he's big at making notes and stuff like that. But what does Staley have? Nothing.
Nothing.
What does Eberflus have? Nothing. What does Robert Saleh have? Nothing.
Well,
I look at these guys, man. I look at them. They're good at front running. They're good at prepping the team. They'll make the players run through a wall for them. But when it's tight in the fourth quarter, what do you need? You need two things. You need time management and I can't remember the other one, but time management. We'll stick with that for now. Time management. There's two things. I can't remember the other one now. I'm not a coach, so I don't need to remember. Anyway, so you've got to be able to know where you are in the field, what you need to score, what you need to do clockwise and things like that.
Indeed.
You got to, if you've got a lead, you've got to have your play clock run down. Indeed. Why are you snapping the ball with 8 seconds to go? Why are you throwing the ball or running with the ball and getting tackled when you need to stop the clock, or vice versa? Why are you calling a passing play when you need to run to kill the clock? It's things like that.
Yeah.
You should have that. And when the clock should be your friend and you don't take advantage of it, that's on you. And Indeed. Buffalo seems to do that a lot.
Indeed.
Listen,
Indeed.
I can't go into detail on why I thought, the Patriots would win. I thought the Patriots would win because of this, that, and the other, and it all came true. It all came true. And a few other games came true for me too. Yeah. I had a good week.
What were your thoughts on? Well, I already know where you went with your Chicago Bears. Congratulations to your Bears. Also, I knew he was going with that one, and you were right. He was a better backup. Mm-hmm. Warriors getting a free check, in my opinion. I'm tired of these backups that get free checks, man.
Oh,
I'm serious,
no
man.
Kidding.
Like, it's sad, man. Like, you're a clipboard holder, bro. Like, come on. Like, you're cool. I mean, I'm not mad at the hustler. You know what I mean? Look, if I can hold this clipboard and get, the point something million for holding a clipboard, smart business decision, you ask me, right? Me personally, I'm a competitor. Everything I do, I'm competitive. You hear me? I don't want to hold no clipboard and watch the other guy get the glory, okay? I'm a glory seeker. I want the moment. The star goes down, it's my time. Mm-hmm. And on that team, I'll be relishing in that moment because I know that Garoppolo is fragile. He's Mr. Glass, so he's not going to be around. So I'm preparing myself every week to take my moment. But at this point, we already know Brian. He is what he is. And you know it before the game started. He is what he is. With Devontae Adams as a weapon, you can't even use it because you can't use a weapon because you don't even know you got a I ain't gonna use that term, but let's just say you got a mechanic and you got this tool kit and you don't know how to use the tool. It's just sitting there looking pretty and you don't know what to do with it. When you guys fix a car, but you can't fix a car because you can't use the tools. Y'all look great, man. You look great. You look great. I mean, Raiders are there. Josh McDaniels is a great. I ain't gonna say great. He's a good offensive coordinator, but he is not a good head coach. He's not.
No,
he's not, bro. He's just not. He's not. And you was on point. I was on the fence with that pick. In my gut, I felt y'all was just a better team. I just ain't have too much film on the rookie. Obviously, played a good game, stepped up.
Well, I think the Raiders were coming off of 2 straight wins.
They were.
Or however they got it. They won 2 in a row. But I knew what my team was bringing. What I had heard, which happened to be true, I thought from the information that I was getting that I pay attention to, that this was going to be the best 5 guys starting on the offensive line this past week versus any week this whole season. Now they still have a backup playing left tackle. They still got some issues at center, and they had to move the starting left guard over to the right. So there was a lot of mixing and matching, but I thought talent-wise, this was the best five, and the Raiders don't have a very good defense. Outside of Crosby, they don't have much of a pass rush, and he was going up against our rookie who is playing very well this year, Darnell Wright, playing very well. So we were able to, put up a game plan and a scheme to shut him down. And to react, well, two things. Number one, Travis Bagent, all he did was run the offense. He didn't go outside of himself, didn't do any big plays. He ran the offense, and it was easy to do because the Bears' running game was awesome.
It was.
Offensive line was awesome, especially in the run blocking.
It was.
And on the flip side, Bears' defense is getting a little better. They gave the Raiders all that underneath stuff. So Adams was getting a lot of catches, but they were all 5-yard, 6-yard catches. And to be fair, just being fair, and I agree with you about the Hoyer thing. Hoyer did throw a ball to Adams in the end zone, and Adams dropped it.
He did.
So that should have been a touchdown, and the game was still in hand for the most part. And then shortly after that, Jalen Johnson ran back the pick six, and that was essentially game over. But if Adams catches that ball in the end zone, it's still a ball game. He dropped it. He's the guy that was asking for the ball. Yeah. He got the ball, finally had it in the end zone, and he dropped it. Listen, it happens, but if you're going to be, the squeaky wheel and you get the grease, you better perform. And he did not. Listen, 5 or 6 yard catches. That's not what he's getting paid to do. That's not what he's getting paid. He's supposed to be an impact player, and that was his chance to make an impact, and he did nada.
Zilch, not in the big moment. You're right. That was a defining moment in that game, and you're right. Now, what was your thoughts on San Fran? What made you go to Minnesota on that cover, man? I really thought that, one, I just thought by them coming off that loss and that the loss they had in Cleveland, that that they were going to be prepared. Minnesota, I know they normally be in close games. But I just thought that it was just going to be, San Fran going in there, man, handling business, and doing what they do. And it definitely wasn't that. It wasn't that. I can't even tell you, watching the game, I couldn't tell you what was going on. You know what I mean? I thought the defense was going to dominate, and it didn't dominate the way I thought it was going to dominate. Kirk Cousins had a good game. He's a pass stuffer. He's a stat stuffer. He had 438 yards throwing the ball. Addison had a great first half, so they, kind of knocked him out the game a little bit. But man, I don't know, and once we get to the picks, it's kind of messing me up because I was kind of going a route with the picks for this week, but with that loss, it's kind of making me think a little different. So what's your thoughts on that particular game?
Well, so my thoughts going into that game was Minnesota coming off a win, and they even though it was against the Bears, they came off a win without Justin Jefferson on the road. San Francisco coming off of a loss, their first loss. Now this game in Minnesota was in Minnesota.
That part.
And since Minnesota had won the week before, I felt like they knew their identity. They knew what they can do, and they were at home. They were going to have the juice. I didn't know how San Francisco was going to react, and I did not pick Minnesota to win. I just said that San Francisco wasn't going to cover that number. I believe it was 7.
It was 7.
And I thought San Francisco would win in a squeaker. Minnesota just happened to win outright. They outperformed even what I thought they were going to do. You're right. Even though on paper, San Francisco has a very good defense, Minnesota's defense is starting to play better.
They are.
Hunter is really starting to do very well. I thought he was going to be on the trade block. Now I think they might actually hold on to him because Minnesota's got a shot for a wild card now.
They do.
That they didn't have 2 weeks ago when they only had one win.
They definitely do.
And I'm a little bit concerned about San Francisco. And this week they're playing Cincinnati.
Yeah,
I think Cincinnati I know we'll make
Yeah,
a pick for that game.
definitely gonna get
I
there.
think
Yeah,
Cincinnati, this is almost like a must win because they had a bye last week
they
and
did.
every team in their division won.
Shit,
So
yeah.
that's a bad bye for them. Baltimore won, Cleveland won,
Oh man,
and Pittsburgh won. And
yeah.
Cincinnati didn't play, so they lost half a game by not playing to those three teams in their
Yeah.
division. So, and they're on the road, so they got to come ready, but they got the extra week. San Francisco, I don't know if you heard, but Purdy is now in concussion protocol.
Oh
He
my
was
goodness.
having concussion-like symptoms on the plane ride back from Minnesota. He went into concussion protocol. He's probably not going to play, so
He's
it's
not
going
gonna
to probably
play.
be Sam Darnold. So even though they'll be at home, you're going to have Sam Darnold now have to lead the way, coming off of a 2-game losing streak against Cincinnati, who's coming off of a bye, who really needs to win.
It's crazy, man. Because man, I guess for time purposes, I guess we're gonna get to our NFL picks. We get to our NBA stuff, right?
Which one do you want to do first? You want to stick with NFL or you want to do
Let's go ahead.
the?
Let's get our picks in. If you with
Okay,
it, let's get our NFL picks in, and then we'll swoop right to our NBA.
let's
And you
do
got
it.
the numbers?
All right.
Let's
You know
go.
how this goes.
Let's
It
go.
kicks off Thursday night, 8:15, Amazon. Tampa Bay at Buffalo. Pay attention to the number.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo is favored by 8.5. Both teams coming off of a loss.
You know what, man? It's the number for me, man. And it coming off 2 losses, you was 8.5 in both of these losses. This is actually a team I think actually a cover this week. Give me the Bills, man, because I know the Bucks. Yeah, I'm taking the Bills. The Buccaneers are 0-6 against the spread against AFC teams, man, against the spread. So I'm taking Buffalo just because of the number. I don't think it's a hooker this time. I actually think they'll cover this number.
I think that's a big number for a reason. Just because of that number, I'm going to say Buffalo wins, but they don't cover. So give me Tampa Bay with the number on that one. Both coming off of a loss. I think Buffalo is better than Tampa, and it's going to be in Buffalo, and that's a cold weather team against a warm weather team. And now we're at the end of October, so the weather's starting to change. I think Buffalo will win. I think Buffalo has to win, but they have to show me. It's been a while since they've been able to cover a big number. It's been a while since they won, if we're going to be honest about it. And they squeaked out a win against the Giants, which to me is a loss then, if you do that. So give me Tampa Bay because of the number on this one. Okay, Sunday, 1 o'clock, Fox. Rookie against rookie. Houston at Carolina. Carolina at home. They are getting 3 points. They are a 3-point home dog against Houston.
I thought about this game, right? And obviously the go route is off. Obviously Houston, right? That's the sweet pick for me, right? Houston. They have they have the better defense. At this point, they have the better quarterback. Just at this point, right? They got receivers that can make plays. All that, man. I mean, they have in my opinion, their coach is playing. Got his team ready to ball. Carolina showed me something in Miami, though. They actually showed me something, man. And I think that, I'm actually picking Carolina in this game. I'm gonna take Carolina. Is it a strong pick? No, by far. But I'm actually gonna go Carolina. I'm gonna go against, pretty much the team that's better on paper. I'm just gonna go against it on some NFL stuff, and I'm just gonna I'm gonna take Carolina.
I agree with you, and I'm also going to go against conventional wisdom, which is I think the words you were searching for. Houston has got the better defense. I think they got the better head coach, and I think they got the better quarterback. However, I'm waiting for Stroud to have that rookie game where he turns the ball over 3 times and it just starts to snowball on him. Carolina has been in a couple of these games. They've lost the fourth quarter in pretty much all of them.
Yes.
They were on a bye last week, so they've had extra time. And right now, Houston is the better team, but Carolina is at home. They're getting points at home. Houston, to me, although they have exceeded expectations to this point, I can see Carolina winning this game. Listen, there aren't going to be too many games where
No,
you're gonna see, a possible W for Carolina.
that's a fact.
This is one of them. I think Young might outperform Stroud in this game. I think Carolina is going to win outright.
Yes,
So
sir.
we're in agreement with that. Okay, Los Angeles Rams against your Dallas Cowboys.
Sure.
Dallas is at home. This game is on Fox.
Yes,
This
sir.
is a 6.5 point cover for the Dallas Cowboys. They are
Yes, sir.
favored at home by 6.5. They got to win by a touchdown.
I'm actually liking my boys this week. We had a bye. We had an extra week to prepare for them. I know they just came off a loss to Pittsburgh. That's scary, being that they did come off a loss. But I just believe that we have more time to prepare. And I think we'll come up with a good game plan. Our offensive line still is a good offensive line. They have great receivers, and not taking none away from receivers, but I think we can get at Stafford. And if you pressure Stafford, he will turn the ball over. So, and we could possibly knock him out the game. So, yeah, I'm taking my boys, and I think we'll cover. I like us at home. I think it'll be a exciting blowout. Thank you.
I agree. Although I don't think I'm going to enjoy this game as much as you. I also have Dallas winning, and I have them winning by double digits. Pretty easy. I think the Rams kind of played their best football now. They might actually be sellers come trade deadline, which is less than a week away. I think Halloween. I think October 31st trade deadline. I think the Rams, although they can score, they're one-dimensional. And when you're one-dimensional in the second half, that catches up with you. They don't really run the ball well. They don't have a very good offensive line. Dallas supposedly has a pretty good defense. Mm-hmm. We'll see. 11-7, I don't know. Show me something, Micah. Show me something. I think Dallas will outscore them, and the defense will make plays in the second half. It's going to be a rough day for Stafford. That stuffer. We're in agreement. I think Dallas wins, and I think they cover, and I think they do it pretty easily. This could be a blowout. This game could be a blowout.
It could be nasty, brother.
Yeah,
nasty.
I don't.
And we got to keep.
It would have to be something pretty substantial for the Rams to win, like CeeDee Lamb getting hurt, or Dak getting hurt. So I don't want to wish that. I don't want to even put that out there. But if everything is all equal and the players going into the game or the players that come out of the game healthy, Dallas should win this comfortably. Okay, Minnesota and Green Bay. Right now, I don't have a line on that game. It's a pick'em. It's on Fox. The game is at Green Bay. Green Bay is coming off of a bye. There's already rumblings that there's some pressure on Green Bay that if they finish with one of these terrible records, that they're going to go for one of these quarterbacks. I don't know how true that is, but it seems like the fans in Green Bay are very spoiled.
Oh, they are.
That Jordan Love hasn't come out and had a Hall of Fame career the first third of the season like his two predecessors career-wise had. Needless to say, I love what Minnesota did last week. I'm going to ride with Minnesota. I don't know what the point spread is. I'm picking Minnesota to win right now. I don't know the point spread. I think they have an identity. That Addison, that rookie, he stepped up.
He did.
He stepped up pretty well.
He did.
Cousins is feeling himself a little bit. I think Savage might not play again this game. I think he's game time decision. Don't hold me to that, but I think he is. So their best corner, Green Bay's best corner, might not play. He's coming off of an injury. I got Minnesota. I feel pretty comfortable. Again, I don't know the point spread as of right now, so I wouldn't mail in that pick yet. But on Wednesday, October, what is this, 25th?
25th.
I'm picking Minnesota. I feel pretty good about Minnesota winning this game.
The line is disturbing because they actually got Green Bay as a 1.5 favorite in this game. It's a pick'em game, but they got Green Bay as the favorite. But I'm highly confused. To me, they lost to one of the worst. I mean, Denver is not the worst team, but they're not a good team. And I know it is going to Denver is a hard place to play. Still, Denver is mile high, altitude, and all that stuff. But I'm confused about the line for me, man.
Well, that line reaffirms my pick to me, because generally speaking, when a game is close, you give the home team 3 points.
You do.
The fact that Green Bay is favored by less than 3 tells me Minnesota, Minnesota, Minnesota.
And I'm looking at the matchup because I was going back and forth, right? I'm like you said, defensively, Minnesota's actually playing better. Jordan Love, Romeo Dobbs and them could have a good game. They could have a good game, but at this point, I'm going with the more secure quarterback. You know what I mean? Because like you said, Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins, and we're looking at the records against Green Bay, but you got to think a lot of them losses were against with Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback. You know what I mean? And when the Packers actually had an identity, they don't run the ball as well with Dylan as they should, or with Aaron, with Aaron Jones, right? So at the end of the day, I hate to agree with you, but I'm kind of leaning toward with you with the Minnesota pick. I just think that right now that the team is playing better football, and it will have to be a Kirk Cousins having a 3 turnover game and them fumbling. It had to be one of them type of games where Minnesota basically beat themselves and Green Bay capitalized. But I don't think that even if that happened, that Green Bay is going to be able to punch the ball in, because red zone wise, they don't punch the ball in. They don't really hit points on the board. So give me Minnesota, man. Give me Minnesota. I didn't think it out. Give me Minnesota.
Shocking, we agree again.
I mean,
okay, this next one is one of my 5 locks.
Okay.
New Orleans at the Colts on Fox. The Colts are a 1-point home underdog.
Home underdog. 1
point home underdog to New Orleans.
New Orleans Saints just came off 2 disappointing losses. Because Colts can't bring pressure. Minshew is Minshew. They just played the hell out of Cleveland. That was a hell of a game. I just think this game is the game that I think New Orleans actually step up and play like. It reminds me when they went to New England. You feel me? And the defense is absolutely able to step up, because I think they took these 2 losses they just had. It's like the defense had to take it to heart. Like, man, we ain't going to let this offense just keep on. We're going to have to step up because our offense is not clicking, so we're going to have to step up. So I actually think their defense is going to come to play. So I actually like New Orleans in this spot right now. I'm going to take New Orleans in this spot.
All right. Got a disagreement here. Thank the gods. I'm going to go with the Colts because they had a very hard loss that they played their guts out, and they got screwed by the officiating. There ain't no way that was a catchable ball.
That was bad.
Give me a break.
Come
on.
Hold up. And then the pass interference was
what
even bad.
What are you doing?
Even pass interference
again, these referees deciding games over these bogus calls, and you're going to tell me that New York wasn't sending down a message saying, hey, come on, yo, we're looking at this, come on. Everybody who viewed it always makes you think, man, that there's a little something, something that don't smell right, man.
I tell you, brother.
I mean, when you stick to a call like that, I'm like,
the Colts had that game, bro.
I don't know, bro. I don't know about that. So I like how the Colts played. I think they got screwed at the end of the game. I think they're going to come back and play hard. They know they got Minshew for the rest of the year. He's their starter. New Orleans has played like crap. They have underachieved. They're coming off of 2 losses. I can't stand their head coach.
Yeah, he's bad.
Carr's being Carr, underperforming.
Yeah.
Just when you think he's, a top 12 quarterback, then he underperforms for a couple weeks. I'm gonna go with the Colts because they play hard and they got screwed last week, and I gotta see the Saints come back and play a good game on the road. I think conventional wisdom, people will say finally, like you said, they would pick the Saints because on paper they're a better team. They still got a shot to win their division and all that. And on paper, the Colts are one of the worst teams, but they play hard. And there's a couple games now that they could have won, and this last one they got screwed, y'all, for real.
That was
For
definitely a
real. So I'm taking the Colts with this one. 1 point. I mean, that's like a pick 'em game, but I'm picking the Colts. It is what it is. All right. New England at Miami. CBS. Miami coming off of a loss. New England coming off of a win. The number I got is 9. Miami is favored by 9 over New England in Miami.
in Miami. I
Mm.
don't care who the team is, who the quarterback is. Miami seems to dominate New England in Miami. And they're a different team at home. I know defensively, New England showed me something last week defensively. I actually like Miami for the number, though. Give me Miami for the number, man. And that's a high spread, but give them for the number. I like Miami.
I agree with you too. There's not much to add. It's in Miami. They have always given New England fits. Even when New England had Tom Brady, they gave him fits. Yeah, the weather's probably going to be fine for both teams. Really no advantage at this point, late October. But Miami's offense, they're coming off of a loss. I think they're going to get rolling again. I think we know what New England is. New England's probably going to get a top 5 pick.
Mm-hmm.
Miami still got a shot to win that division. Give me Miami. Miami wins by double figures. I think come late second quarter before half, they're already going to have the number covered, and it's not going to get any closer. So we're in agreement there. Okay, the next game is one of my locks. The New York Football Jets will technically be a road dog.
Right.
Excuse me, a road favorite. They will be a road favorite against the New York Football Giants. CBS, the Giants are a 3-point technically home underdog. I have the Jets covering that number. They don't need to score a lot because the Giants won't score much at all. Not against that defense. That crowd is going to be like 60-40. So there's not going to be really much of a home field. Not that the home field has been working for them much anyway. Can't play Washington every week.
No, you can't play Washington every week.
Can't play Arizona every week.
Can't play Arizona, no.
And those are their 2 wins.
Yeah.
So I've got the Jets. The Jets are still trying to win that division. They are trying to buy time for that bad man to possibly come back before the year is out, for as crazy as that sounds. I got the Jets winning. I got the Jets covering. What say you?
Oh, man. I hate to be in agreement with you, brother, but I'm in agreement. I can't. The Giants, once again, Giants match up with Washington. I already knew last week. I told you it's just I don't care what season they have, they just find a way to beat Washington. And their offensive line is bad. I'm not going for the banana tailpipe. The quarterback is going to be under duress, and like you said, that defense is for real. So I'm not counting on Zach Wilson. I'm counting on the defense to cover. Zach Wilson, actually, Nathaniel Hack is actually starting to play towards Zach Wilson's skill set and making them not do too much. He's not going to burn you with 300-yard games, okay, bro? He's going to do buck 50. If he do 200 yards passing, that'd be great. But that's not what he do. They're going to run the ball. They're going to beat up on that old line. Give me Jets. We ain't got to talk about it no more. That's my lock. I got that. Give me a lock. I like the Jets.
You're going to know how the Jets are doing when they're on offense and Zach Wilson drops back to pass. When his back foot hits the ground, if that ball comes out, that's probably going to be a pretty good play. If that back foot hits and he starts dancing and goes to his right like he likes to do, that's probably going to be a bad play.
That's definitely the truth.
So just look for that back foot. Hit, throw. Hit, throw. He doesn't do that, the Giants got a shot. Okay, this next game is a hard one to call, so I'm going to need you to make the prediction first for me.
Okay.
Jacksonville at Pittsburgh.
Man, you're right.
CBS. Pittsburgh at home is a 2.5-point underdog.
Yeah, man. Trevor Lawrence playing great. Jacksonville playing good football right now, man. Doug Peterson got them boys. They got an identity, man. They can run. They can throw the ball. It's hard going to Pittsburgh and beating Pittsburgh, bro. And that's the truth. the losses that they had in Pittsburgh came from San Fran at the time. It was rolling. You know what I mean? And that was the first game. And Tomlinson and home is hard to beat. So give me Pittsburgh. It's not gonna be an easy game by far, especially way that. But I think if Canada could do what he did with the Rams, and this is two different. Once again, it come down to play calling with me. You know, if he could get some type of flow for Kenny Pickett, I like Pittsburgh. It'll be, and I like the defense. Defense is decent. If he goes up there and he doesn't know what the hell he's doing up in that booth, bro, Jacksonville will win this game. They will win this game, and they're gonna show you who's a better team. But I actually like Pittsburgh. I think they're coming in playing in a tougher division and they play against tougher opponents. So give me Pittsburgh.
So I was also leaning slightly towards Pittsburgh, but it was almost a pick 'em, especially with that number. Yeah. I think Jacksonville at this point is a little bit better of a team, but Pittsburgh's at home. They know how to win at home.
Go.
They're a home underdog, which should tell you, think about the number, they were a 2.5-point underdog at home. So just for shoots and giggles, I'm going to take Jacksonville because I don't want to agree on everything. And I'm so close with it. I told myself, whoever you pick, I'm going to go the other way because we can't agree on everything. So
I don't know. I mean, we can. We can.
It doesn't make for good radio. It doesn't make for a good podcast.
Look.
I agree.
I want to get you.
You're right. No, you're right.
No. I want to get you last week, right? I want to get you last week and got super burnt. I got super burnt last week. Yeah. Oh my God, I've got super burnt. But it's okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Jacksonville. I don't have much of a reason other than the number, the 2.5-point Pittsburgh being a home dog. I'm going by the number. I could be talking myself into that. I think I am, actually. Okay, the next game I have as a lock. Atlanta.
Ooh,
Tennessee.
I already know I'm going with it.
Tennessee is a 2.5-point underdog. CBS. Now, remember, I had said trends when it came to Ritter. He hadn't lost at home.
He did.
And then he lost.
He did.
He hadn't won on the road. Then he won.
Yeah.
So the trends are over.
Yeah.
I can't use that anymore. So now I'm just going by who I think is a better team right now. And Tennessee looks like they've already started the sale. They got rid of probably their second best defensive player on the team.
Yeah, they did.
In that safety.
They did. You're Byard.
So trading him to the Eagles. Yeah. So that doesn't make them better, even though they got draft pick. That doesn't make them better right now. I'm going to go, and Atlanta has one on the road now. 2.5 means Atlanta only has to win by 3. They got a very good kicker. Atlanta won last week despite Bijan Robinson not feeling well. I'm clearly going Atlanta to easily cover that number. Give me Atlanta with a road win as the third of my 5 locks for the week.
We're in disagreement, man. I'm asking to go Vrabel on them boys, even with the them dumping off their top safety. I think the bye. I think by them having a bye, them have prepared, and then them being at home. I think that Atlanta is good against the run, so they'll probably force Tannehill to beat them with the arm. Their defense isn't that good, but I remember when they played the Chargers, and the Chargers came in there and they beat them convincingly. Okay. I think the momentum will probably be in their favor when they go down there. Lance came off a big win against the Buccaneers. So it's not one of my favorites, but I'm gonna definitely take the Titans. I'm taking the Titans this week, bro.
I'm gonna give you an out. You've got 5 seconds to change your mind. Are you sticking with the Titans?
I'm sticking with the Titans. I got
100%.
I'm sticking with the Titans,
okay.
100%.
Tannehill is doubtful for the game. They're probably going to start the rookie from Kentucky.
Will Levis?
Yes.
I like the Titans.
You like the Titans?
I like the Titans.
I think you're wrong.
I think
you're wrong.
I think it's time for Tannehill. I think if this is the future, we're gonna see.
It might be the future, but the future is not today.
We're gonna see.
Okay.
Atlanta,
we're gonna see.
If you're gonna have the testing, if you're gonna have a testing ground, why not Atlanta?
See.
Why not Atlanta?
I'm gonna clap back. Okay. Philadelphia at Washington. Fox. Washington is a 6.5-point home dog.
Right.
Coming off of a loss.
Right.
What do you think?
I like Philly.
Yeah, me too.
First time they played each other was a close game, and I knew it was going to be a close game. I just, I don't think they're going to take them lightly this round, and they're going to get Rivera. Rivera going to get up out of there, man.
Yeah.
Get him out of here, man. They don't believe in him. They don't believe in the system. They don't believe in what's going on, and you're going to see the Philly just come in there and do what they do. Seriously. So give me Philly.
I agree. I think Philly wins. I think Philly covers. And it wouldn't surprise me if within the next week or two, especially if Washington loses this game bad, now you got to think the owner of Washington is from the Philadelphia area because he also owns the 76ers. Do you think possibly if Philly puts the smackdown on Washington's derriere, do you think Washington lets go Rivera mid-season and lets Bieniemy finish out the season as head coach?
I believe that's going to happen. You're going to get it's going to come across your ticker. It's going to say breaking news: the Washington Commanders have fired Ron Rivera. His 10-year whatever Marshall horse into the wind, and we're going to Eric Bieniemy. Because it was already understood he was going to be the next coach anyway. That's why he came over to Washington. It was already understood, bro.
You think he's the next coach?
Yeah. I mean, he's on. I mean, is he going to be a successful coach? No, I don't believe he's going to be a successful coach. But I think they'll give him a play, depending on how the season goes.
That's the key. If they let him go and Bieniemy does well. You take the interim tag off of him and you just keep him there. But usually when you get rid of the head coach, you want a clean slate. Indeed. They don't usually elevate a coordinator and then keep him around the next year. The owner, what's Magic Johnson going to want to do? He's a minority owner. What's he going to want to do?
It's a fact.
So I think if it happens and Bieniemy finishes, pretty well, he's got a shot. But I got to say, I'll be honest, I think Bieniemy is looking for his next job. And I think he will be a head coach again before Rivera is a coach again. Probably not going on a major limb on that one. All right, so we're in agreement there. Okay, 4:05. The later games are starting. Cleveland at Seattle on Fox. Seattle is a 3.5-point favorite.
I like Seattle.
Yeah, me too.
Only because Cleveland, this is second road game. And then they just had a tough game against the Colts, and I think they put a lot in the tank in that game. And you got to go all the way to West Coast to play Seattle, who played a good game against Cardinals. So give me Seattle. Yeah,
man, we don't have to spend much time on that. I agree. That's an easy one. That was almost a lock.
That's my lock.
That was almost a lock for me.
That's my lock.
Seattle, I think, covers pretty easy. 4:25. This is another one that was almost a lock for me. Baltimore at Arizona. Arizona is an 8.5-point home dog on CBS. That's a big number.
It's a big number, bro.
And Arizona plays hard.
They do.
But in the second half, they start to lose. That gas tank, when they start the game, is on half. It's half full or half empty, whatever your perspective is. And in the fourth quarter, they start sputtering.
I think Baltimore's getting their groove offensively, man. I think the system, all systems take a while to get accustomed to. I actually started to think they're getting better. and defensively they're getting better. Like you said, Arizona, I can't bank on them in the fourth quarter, bro. Like they can play hard for three, fourth. They don't. It's just where your talent. It's discrepancy in talent. That's it. The roster is different. It's like you go and pitch your best foot forward. You're Rudy that played for Notre Dame, and then you got to face reality when you get to the fourth quarter. You're a little guy.
Yeah.
Okay. So give me Baltimore, and that's a big number. I've been going with a lot of these big numbers, so one of these jokers ain't going to cover. So I think this actually will cover as a big number. Give me Baltimore.
I agree. Baltimore, I think they cover. I think, like I said, Arizona's going to play them hard the first half. Maybe Arizona's even winning. But come the fourth quarter, Baltimore will have established their dominance. They will pull away. I think they win by 2 touchdowns. I agree, Baltimore for the win. Next game is one of my locks.
I figured where you're going with this one.
Kansas City at Denver. Denver is a 7-point home dog. The game is on CBS. I'll just get mine right out of the way. I think right now Kansas City might be the best team. They got the best quarterback. They got the best head coach. And Denver stinks no matter where they're playing. And I think Denver is going to be sellers comes the trade deadline. I think Jerry Jeudy is going to be out of here come the trade deadline. So give me Kansas City. They just picked up the wide receiver who they had on their team last year. He wasn't doing nothing with the Jets. What's his name? Hartwell.
Yeah, Hartwell.
I think that's his name. Yep. Hartwell. So they just picked him back up. I think Kansas City wins the game easy.
And then Travis Kelce, I know Taylor Swift will probably be in the
if she's there, what's going to happen.
I know what's happening.
What's going to happen.
Bro, I just told you, I hate to agree with you, but I have to because I just told you I thought that Denver is one of them teams that are not good. Not yet. I mean, it might take Sean Payton a couple years to get them where you need to get them. I don't know. But Kansas City's playing great football right now, man. And their defense is actually playing good defense. So that was the key for me, that their defense is starting to play. You already got an offense. Denver doesn't score, so they would literally have to have a defensive game for them to win this game or at least cover the number. Give me Kansas City, man.
100%. All right. We mentioned this game about a half hour ago.
Indeed.
Cincinnati at San Francisco. Cincinnati having a bad bye week because everybody in their division won. They got to keep pace.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're technically in last place in their division right now.
They are.
And San Francisco coming off of a 2-game losing streak.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like 3 weeks ago they were the team to beat. Mm-hmm. Now they're kind of struggling. Their defense isn't dominating. And it looks like their starting quarterback, Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, is not going to play. He's in concussion protocol. So you got to hit your wagon to Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is an adequate starting quarterback, and they will be at home. But, man, Cincinnati kind of needs this game. They really do. Yeah. So San Francisco is a 3.5-point favorite. The line is talking to me a little bit. Give me San Francisco for the win, but Cincinnati to cover the number.
All right. It's going to be a hard game, but that has
This one's hard.
It's going to be a hard one, man.
I think it's the hardest
It's going to be hard, man.
This one in the Jacksonville.
Cincinnati struggles in San Francisco, bro. And I got to go with what I have on my paper. I mean, I was going to switch up the pick because you went with San Fran, but and Bengals have a bye week, but it's a hard task, especially when San Fran just came off 2 losses. But I don't like Sam Darnold, so I'm going to go with the Bengals. I'm going with the Bengals. I like Bengals for the win. I think Joe Burrow's going to be getting to Joe Burrow mode second half of the season, starting to get to the second half of the season to march towards that. And man, it's going to be a hard one. But give me Joe Burrow. Big game, Joe. It's a big game. It's a big game. Give me the Bengals. It's a big game.
I'm going to stick to what I said. I can talk myself out of it. You can talk me into it. I think I just San Francisco losing 3 in a row. Wow, that would be something.
It's crazy because they could lose 3 and still be ahead of their division. I mean,
Oh
they'll
yeah,
be tied with Seattle because Seattle was playing good football, so it'll be them in
yeah,
Seattle, which is going to be that anyway.
yeah. You're right. I mean, you're right, but I'm just going with my early instinct that San Francisco wins, but they don't win by 3.5.
Hmm.
They probably win by a point or two.
Well, Sam Darnold's
So
quarterback.
give me San Francisco. All right. The primetime game on Sunday, 8:20. My Chicago Bears against the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are a 8.5-point home favorite.
Ah, shoot,
What
man.
say you? And keep in mind, there'll be more Bear fans there than there will be Charger
Right,
fans.
right,
It
right.
will feel like a home game for the Bears.
8.5. I can't take Chargers on 8.5 point line. I don't care who they play. Give me the Bears. I mean, just because of the line, like Justin Herbert, the defense isn't playing like the level it should be playing. Um, will Devontae run the ball as well as he did against the Raiders? No. Um, but they suspect on the back. This could be the game where the Bears drop the damn ball, though. It could be like the talent, but nah, just give me the Bears for the points, though. I'm afraid of this game because y'all could lose by 10, bro. But give me the Bears.
The Bears to win outright or
Nah,
just
just to cover. I don't think they're
cover
gonna
the
win the game.
number?
Just to cover. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a little cheese there, and I am not going to bite it. I'm going to pick with my head, not my heart, which is not an easy thing to do. I think the Chargers have the better quarterback. I think both
Of
head
course.
coaches leave a lot to be desired. And the Bears, although their backup QB is a good backup QB, he's still a backup QB.
Yeah.
And I think the Chargers have a stud at quarterback. I think the Chargers win. I think the Chargers cover. I think the Bears are in it for a little while, but I could see some turnovers. If the Chargers played a run and they force Tyson Bagent to have to throw and throw further than checkdowns and intermediate throws, I don't like it. I don't think consistently he's ready for that. I'm going to reluctantly go with the Chargers and hope that I'm wrong.
Okay.
Okay. Monday night, the last game. Monday night, mischief night.
Mr. Knight.
I know what I'll be doing Monday night, and I think I know what you'll be doing too.
Yes, sir.
The Las Vegas Raiders will be at Detroit. Detroit is an 8-point favorite. The
Right.
game is on ABC and probably on ESPN too. Don't hold me to that. I'm not 100% sure. It's the Monday night game. I have this as one of my locks, my final lock of the week, and I got Detroit covering easy.
Yeah, me too.
Easy. I think Detroit will whoop the Raiders. I mean,
Me too.
whoop them to the point where people are talking when the season ends, that Black Monday after the regular season ends, that the Raiders head coach is going to be one of those guys that's going to be fired on that first day. I don't like McDaniels. I don't think he's going to get fired. I think he's going to have to get another year. But he's going to be talked about on being fired. Give me Detroit. Give me Detroit big. I could see them winning by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah,
touchdowns.
I don't even have to discuss this anymore, man. I'm not picking the Raiders. They are bad, like seriously. And you talk about Detroit's came off an embarrassing loss, which I knew that Baltimore was going to do that. I knew it's going to be a tough out for Detroit and Baltimore. So they're back home, Mojo. It's going to be rocking mischief night. It's going to, they in Detroit. Yeah, man, give me the home team, man. And I think the number is definitely coverable. It's a lot of big spreads this week, but that's one that I actually think could cover. That one and yeah, for sure. And the Baltimore one, I think it's covered.
Yeah, the Baltimore is 8.5.
Yeah, I think it's coverable.
Yeah,
No.
So again, let's see where we disagree. We disagree. Cincinnati, San Francisco.
Titans, Atlanta.
Titans, Atlanta.
Orleans, We do just for that game.
New Orleans, Indy.
Yep.
And the Tampa Bay Buffalo.
Yep, Tampa Bay and Buffalo.
We both said Buffalo, but I said Tampa would cover
the spread.
They cover the spread.
Indeed.
So we disagree on 4 games.
Yeah, I mean the way sometimes the way the football lines up, man. The football gods line up that way.
The way
brother.
it is. I mean,
I want to argue, and I could come up here and make controversy and pick some crazy picks because that's what it would be for me, just crazy picks. I'm just going about what my eye is testing, which ain't good. I need glasses, obviously, because I'm not seeing what you saw last week because you covered. In America, you need to pipe in. You need to pay attention to this podcast because you might get some winners out of this thing. All right. Now,
thank you.
Finally get to the business. First and foremost, man, we about to jump into our segue, man. And before I forget to tell you guys, man, always subscribe, like, comment, and follow. Okay. But now we're about to do our NBA preview. Woo, woo, woo. Yesterday, man, was a great evening for basketball, my brother. I watched that LA game and that Denver game, and I was not disappointed, and it went the way I thought it was going to go. I like what the Lakers have pit around LeBron. I do like the pieces they brought in with Taurean Prince. You know what I mean? I like Roy getting his extension. I like Austin Reeves. You know, I like D'Angelo Russell. I wish he would play like he was when he was in Minnesota. You know what I mean? But I like his game, man. It was just a good game. And then it was ring night. It was banner night for Denver. And the Joker did not disappoint. He put up a triple-double, 29, 13 rebounds, 11 assists. That's what he does. KCP, Cordell or CKP, whatever his name, Kadavius Caldwell Pope. I'm sorry, KCP, I was right. You know, he just fits in that system well, bro. Aaron Gordon dunking on people, man, you know, grabbed the rim and dunked on it. It was just a beautiful game. And Denver had dominated that game. But I still think they're, you know, we'll get to our playoff picks, but that's definitely one of my 2 teams I got in the playoffs for the West. And then the other game was Golden State and Phoenix. Draymond didn't suit up. Chris Paul started, but Chris Paul, it's not going to work with that style of play. That's not how they play. He's old. He is old, for real. He plays like old man. He comes down, and you got to set up, dribble. Too much ball in his hand, man. You're taking away fluidity of that offense. Their offense is fluid. With him, it's half court, dump off, penetrate, kick out. I don't like that. You know, Bradley Beal is covering from a back injury, so he didn't suit up for Phoenix. But man, Devin Booker's a problem. KD didn't have a KD day, but he did what KD do. I like the pieces. You know, you got Nurkic. That was a great pickup from Portland. Great pickup because now they obviously have a center that could play the center spot. And I like the acquisitions. They got some energy guys around them, man. It looked good to me. So I got them 2 definitely in the playoffs for the West Coast. What do you think, my brother?
Well, just commenting on yesterday's games, to me, a couple things were very apparent. Nikola is still the best player in the league. He had a triple-double and didn't even look like he worked hard for it.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude is
the deal. He's a real deal.
He's the truth. He is fun to watch right now. I mean, it's so early to tell, but Denver looks like they are right back where they left off. It also looks like the Lakers are right back where they left off because if Anthony Davis doesn't play well, which in the second half he was a no-show, they're not going to win.
That's a fact.
I mean, they're easily not going to beat Denver, but they're not going to beat a bunch of other teams when he doesn't play. You just got to assume that LeBron's going to be LeBron because he's giving you every reason to assume that.
Indeed.
But the swinging pendulum is Anthony Davis.
Indeed.
He's supposed to be the best player on that team right now. And when he's not, they don't go. They got a nice supporting cast, but that's what they are. They're a supporting cast. That team is supposed to go as Anthony Davis goes, not LeBron, because you got to assume LeBron's going to put up big numbers because he does.
Indeed.
And he's got the all-around game. He's still in shape. He's going to do his thing, but he can be close to averaging a triple-double, and they can still lose.
It's a fact.
It's when Davis puts it in, that's when they win. And when he's a no-show, they're a no-show. And as far as that second game, man, I don't know about you, but that game was hard to watch because
It was, brother.
turnover after turnover after turnover.
But
I no disrespect, ladies, but I thought I was watching the WNBA. That's what it felt like. It felt like every time a team got a running start, the ball got stolen.
Yeah.
The ball got stolen. They had a lot of big names,
yeah.
but I'm watching turnover after turnover after turnover. And I don't know if this is going to work with Golden State or not. It didn't look good yesterday to me. And even Phoenix was up and down, but I think roster-wise, I think they're going to be better than they were last year.
Indeed.
I'm not saying that they're the team to beat, but I could see them going to like the Western Conference Finals.
Indeed.
I have both teams making the playoffs. I actually broke down the divisions, and in each division, I have teams that I think will make the playoffs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you lead the way. This is your baby.
Oh man, I want to start off with the West. I mean, we're already in the West. Okay, so let's start off with the West since that was a preview for yesterday. And I'll start with the Northwest division. And the division, I'm just gonna go from the top down. So we had Denver Nuggets. Last year, as we know, they were the defending champion. They had a 53-29 record, and Michael Malone is their coach. The key players that they have for me is Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, Aaron Gordon, who did not disappoint. None of their three disappointed. You still got KCP. I'm expecting them to win that division. That's just my personal opinion. I think they're going to win that division. They're deep. They're loaded. They're the champions. You have to dethrone the champion, and I still think they have it. The only thing that could derail them is just injuries. You know, you have to bet clearly the best player in the NBA on your team, straight up, effortlessly. He's playing. The game is slow to him. It really is. It really is. He's unstoppable. So I like Denver to win that division by far, if not one of my top teams coming out the West this year.
So with the play-in tournament, how many teams? 10 teams. Okay.
10 teams will make the playoffs. The ninth and the 10th team. It's the 9th and the 10th team plays, and then the 8th, because the 8th to the 10th, they got to play for the 8th spot. And then the 9th and 10th, they'll play each other. Rather, it's the 8th and 7th, they'll play to get the 7th spot. You got the 8th and the 9th to play, and then that 9th and 10th. It's crazy how it goes. But basically,
it's 10 teams. It starts with
10 teams that makes the playoffs. Yes.
Okay, so out of this Northwest division, I definitely, hands down, got the Nuggets winning it.
Indeed.
Hands down. I think the Timberwolves can be the other team in this division that makes the playoffs.
Yes, I have them. I also have them. And as we're going to get into it, the Minnesota Timberwolves, coached by Chris Finch, finished 42-40. They made the playoffs last year. Actually gave Denver a good run last year. That's the only team that really challenged them was Minnesota. They got Karl Anthony Towns, which I look for the free agency. I didn't see him on the list. But if he does not perform, they're definitely going to move on past him. Okay, you still got Rudy Gobert. I like the rookie they picked up, Lou Garza. They're going to be a big squad. And then you got Anthony Edwards, which is their premier guard, the premier player who you build a team around. Okay, I agree with you. I have them as being a playoff team. I have them as being a buy-in team. I think they'll probably be a buy-in team. I got them probably maybe, as I got my list of who I got them I got them making the 8th spot. I got them making the 8th spot. They'll playing for the 8th spot. I guess you already quoted them as being a team that you got as making the playoffs also, coming out the division.
Yeah, I don't have them in order other than the Nuggets I have at number 1.
Right.
I got that. Timberwolves are going to be at the bottom. They're going to be somewhere between 8 and 10. I'm going to save the Pacific Division for obvious reasons. Southwest Division, I got 2 teams making the playoffs.
I do too, brother.
I got the Mavericks
Mm-hmm.
and I got the Grizzlies.
Ooh. I
Those,
mean,
those, those are the two teams. I think even without Ja, I still think they're good enough to make it. I think the Pelicans have a shot, and I think the Spurs have a shot.
you know what?
But I'm going Mavericks, Grizzlies, and maybe the Pelicans.
You know, it's
Maybe.
crazy because I agree with you with Dallas. And by the way, Dallas has Jason Kidd as their coach. Some key players to look out for is Luka Doncic, Kyrie, obviously Irvin, Grant Williams they picked up from Boston, and you still got Tim Hardaway Jr. I think that if Luka get back to being Luka, along with explosive Kyrie, I definitely got to win in that division. Like I don't only because of what job missing all them games. I got the Pelicans. They can stay healthy, and Zion can stay healthy, which he hasn't been yet in his career. They had so much talent on that team. With Willie Green being their coach, they finished 42-40, made the playoffs last year as a play-in. They got Zion, Brandon Ingram, C.J. McCollum, Jonas Valanciunas. They got a squad. They got a nice squad. So I actually got them as being on the bottom, probably that 9th or 10th playing team. Crazy. Well, I'm gonna tell you why I don't have Memphis this year. They didn't make my playoff list, and I could be wrong because I'm gonna tell you some teams I thought would make it. By the way, they're coached by Taylor Jenkins. They finished 51-31 last year, so they was one of the top teams up in that division of all West. They picked up Derrick Rose, a veteran. You got Marcus Smart off the trade from Boston. Desmond Bain is going to be their primary scorer, and you got Jaren Jackson, reigning player of the year. Jaren Jackson Jr., reigning playing defensive player of the year from last year. I just think that by them not having Ja, because he brings a lot. He brings explosiveness. He brings that just eats a dog. And they got some dogs, you feel me? But I'm just curious at how them pieces are going to come together. You got a defensive guy, Marcus Smart. I'll give you that. You got they're going to be a defensive squad. I'm worried about the scoring part, especially with the West. You know what I mean?
Just remember, Ja's only going to miss a quarter of the
Is it
season.
25? Is it 25?
Yeah, it's 25.
Get
That's
back
it.
in.
He's not missing half the season like a lot of people thought he should have. He's only going to miss 25 games.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to reevaluate my pick, or somebody ain't gonna make this list then. Because if that's the case, then all right, I know exactly what I'm gonna take out. Then it's gonna be hard, bro. It's gonna be hard picking them. But I'm sticking by my guns for now. But I'll probably be wrong on one of my bottom teams. And as far as the San Antonio Spurs, sticking with the Southwest position, you obviously know Greg Popovich, legendary coach, is still there. They finished abysmal 22-60 last year. They have on their squad, obviously, Wembanyama.
Victor. We'll just say Victor.
It's Victor.
We'll eventually get the last name right. It took me a long time to get Antetokounmpo right. So
yes.
Whether it's Wembanyama or however it's pronounced, we'll get it right eventually. So
Victor.
We'll just say Victor.
Vassell is there. They have a young squad, and I just think that he is the real deal. Oh, yeah. What I saw in preseason, and I'm telling you now, I'm not talking about the beginning games, I'm talking about the louder games. We actually starting to play against the starters. Mm-hmm. He is a problem. And they kept saying, oh, he's too thin. He is not going to be able to play the NBA game. Wake up, America. I don't know what basketball player or what person's watching the league now. We're not in a physical league. Mm-hmm. We ain't been in a physical league in a while. We're in a finesse league. And he has a finesse and skill position. He's a skilled player. He's a 7'4" guy. He's a matchup nightmare for anybody. What you gonna do? He can hit the three. He can dribble like a guard. He's gonna dunk on you. He's 7'4". You can't block that. And then he's a defensive presence. He's gonna make you alter your shot. Like I seen it. And he's swatting stuff. He is the real deal. He is the real deal. He's gonna be the future of the game, y'all. The game must evolve. LeBron is going to retire. Durant is getting old. The game evolves, man, and he's the evolution of the game. So I like him. I don't have them making the playoffs this year, but I believe that they will definitely be in a lot of games, man. They're definitely not going to be finishing no 22 games. I can give you that. But I just think they're going to just slightly miss the playoffs just because I got a couple other squads that's going to make the team. What about you for Spurs?
I think they're one of those teams that's going to compete for the 9th, 10th seed. They'll probably just miss it, but if Victor can play the majority of the season
Mhm.
and Popovich doesn't do that load management crap, I think he's a matchup nightmare for everybody. Like you said, he'll take any big guy off the dribble. He'll shoot over every wing player and
Mhm.
guard, and you can't play defense on the perimeter anymore. So
Mhm.
he's going to get to the free throw line like gangbusters. He's going to get there 10 times a game.
Indeed.
So he's going to average over 20 points as a rookie.
Indeed.
Listen, sky's the limit with this guy.
The limit.
Very excited for him. Hopefully Popovich sticks around for a few years until he gets at least established to be the all-world player that we all think he's going
Oh,
to be. And you're
sure.
right, he is thin, but this is how the game is now. You know, if you have a 7'4" guy that's got guard skills,
Oh,
don't talk about him as if he's playing, back to the basket,
indeed.
late 80s, early 90s basketball. The game's not the same. Whether you think it's better or worse, it's not the same. And this guy is really a small forward in a
He
seven
is.
foot four body.
He
That's
is.
what he is. That's what he
And
is.
credit.
He's Kevin Durant, but he's Kevin Durant now.
Oh,
He's Kevin Durant now.
now.
Kevin Durant was changing the game when he was 6'9" and still growing as
Facts.
a small forward, and now he's 6'11". This guy's 7'4". Oh my gosh, what if he grows another inch? Is that
Oh,
possible? What if he
oh man.
grows another inch?
That's crazy, brother.
We all know he's going to get stronger.
Oh, he's going to get stronger.
He's going to get strong. He doesn't have to be
Giannis
all
came in.
swollen
Look,
up. We saw look at Kevin Garnett's
yeah,
rookie year
he was.
to
Yeah,
Kevin Garnett when he retired 20 years later.
yeah,
He looks exactly the same.
yeah.
Look at Kevin Durant rookie
Yes,
year
he
to
was
now. He
thin.
looks the same. They're stronger.
Yeah.
So
Only when I
Victor might
said,
get stronger and still look pretty much exactly the same.
hey,
He won't be the same, folks. He
indeed,
won't be the same.
indeed,
He is the future.
he's definitely the
He
future.
is the future.
Yes, and then
Now,
now good.
well, I was just going to say the last division on the West Coast, the best division, I think, in all of basketball, the Pacific Division, 5 teams. I believe all 5 make the playoffs.
Man, that's crazy that you
All
said that, my
5.
brother. I literally got the same thing on my paper. I ain't lying. I'm just on it. Oh, before I get to the Pacific, I just want to wrap up the Southwest with the Houston Rockets. Email Duga, exposed the coach. We know the scandal. I'm glad he gets a fresh start. He has a young squad. They're not going to make the playoffs this year. They got Dylan Brooks. They got Jalen Green. They got Fred VanVleet from Toronto. Jabari Smith Jr. second year. They have a young squad. They're going to have a team that's going. They're going to make. They finished 22-60. They'll win more than 22 games this year. I promise you that. I was watching the game against Orlando, which I get to that. I would definitely get to that. And I seen what I thought I was going to see, a young team, and you got to go through that with young teams, man. When you don't have veterans and you have a bunch of young guys, the only thing about young people, they have the talent, they just don't have the knowledge to finish to play 4 quarters. Okay, they're going to come out in spurts and they're going to win some games, but I promise you, it's going to be because of the defensive side of just not being fully focused defensively throughout the whole game, where they'll lose their games. Okay, but they're going to get there. It takes some time to build it. He did it in Boston. He'll do it out there in Houston. So for the future, I like Houston for the future. They will definitely get back with that culture. Watch what I say. Give them a couple years. We'll be talking about Houston like we was talking back in them Rudy Thomas games. Okay, Rudy T. Back in them days. Okay. Now back to the probably the hardest division in
Pacific.
Man, you called it. And we're gonna start off with the Phoenix Suns, who finished 45-37 last year. They have a new coach with Igor Kokoskov. As we know, you have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Grayson Allen was a pickup they picked up from Milwaukee. Joseph Nurkic. Excuse me if I'm mispronouncing his name, but out of Portland, I like Nasir Little coming out of Portland with that. They got another young boy named Anji. He played, man, he's an energy guy. Basically what I'm telling you, y'all, is that I got them as being one of my top 2 teams coming out the West this year. Phoenix, for sure. For sure. If they can stay healthy, it's going to be hard, man, because any given night, any of them will go off. You know, it could be Dev, it could be Durant, it could be Bradley, it could be both of them at the same game, you know, and then they got energy guys. They got a center that can actually play center and not be soft like DeAndre Ayton was, super soft, you know. I just like the squad, you know. I like the squad. It's going to come down if this coach can get him to play, and I like what he's doing already, you know. It's going to go to Devin Booker, man. That's the squad. You don't want Devin Booker. He's a young guy. He's a scorer, man. He is a pure scorer, brother. So I'm loving Phoenix. I'm actually loving Phoenix. And then you got another year to gel with him and Durant. I like Phoenix a lot. You know what I mean?
I got Phoenix number 2 on the West Coast. I got Denver 1, Phoenix 2.
I actually have Phoenix 1.
Oh,
Phoenix
okay.
I do. I got Phoenix being 1, only because I think that Denver probably gets some injuries throughout the year. You know what I mean? But that's the only reason why. You know, but I like Phoenix being the top dog this year coming out. You know.
All right.
And then you got
the Warriors.
The Warriors, who are, as we know, coached by legendary Steve Kerr. They finished 44-38 last year, made the playoffs. As we know, they got bounced out by the Lakers. You still got Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond. They had acquired Chris Paul. They're an old team. We got to kind of enjoy these years now. Clay's he's underneath his rookie. His contract is up. He's due for an extension. I don't know if they're going to do that, and if they do that, it's only because they want him to retire as a Warrior. That's it, because he's definitely on the decline of years right now. And I believe that whole dynasty and that whole team that we have custom to know, man, hey, they're getting old, man. And, you know, you kind of got to go start rebuilding. So this is going to probably be one of their last and best years. If they're going to get it done, it's going to have to be this year, which I don't see them winning the whole thing. But I think they definitely going to make the playoffs. You know, I just think that the roster's old, and I don't care. I don't think Chris Paul ever going to get a ring. I just don't believe he's going to get a ring. You know, in your opinion.
I can't really add anything to it. I think we do have to appreciate, you know, we're seeing a guy like Steph Curry, who is really one of the greatest players to ever play this game. He, for better or worse, changed the game. He's probably the best shooter. I mean, think about it. The best shooter in the history of the NBA is playing right now.
Yeah.
They're surrounded by other good players, but they are older players. They got a really good head coach. I mean, he'll make the Hall of Fame just on his coaching.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, he was a winner as a player, but we know what he was. He was a guy off the bench. As a coach, I mean, he's a stud. I mean, he's won 4 championships as a coach. He's won 5 championships as a player. Ugh, pretty awesome. But I think you're right. I think this is the last run, the last hurrah for Chris Paul, the last one for Clay.
Yeah.
The last one for Green, which I would have got rid of him myself. He didn't even play yesterday. Wiggins is not. He's still in his prime, but you really want to appreciate Clay. Clay is really. So I was thinking about this today. I was thinking about rivals. You know, I was thinking about, you know, Wilt had Russell.
Yeah.
Magic had Bird. Jordan had Isaiah.
Mm-hmm.
Who did LeBron have? It wasn't Kobe.
No.
It wasn't Kobe. So I'm thinking to myself, I think it was Steph.
It was Steph.
I think it was Steph.
It
They
was
played
Steph.
different positions.
Yeah.
And all that, but I really think that either one guy won the title or the other guy won the title.
It was Steph, clearly.
I think it was Steph. So I think as we know that LeBron is winding down, he's not going to play forever. He's only got, 2 or 3 more years, despite how amazing of a career he's had, especially at his later age. I think you've also got to think about Clay. Clay's been in the league, 14 years now? we can't just keep assuming that these great players are going to do 20 plus years.
No.
He came into the league with bad ankles. Those ankles haven't gotten better. So at some point he's going to twist an ankle. He's going to get an ankle sprain, and he's not going to recover 100%. That's just what's going to happen. So I think we need to appreciate, in particular, Steph Curry. I think they are a top 3, top 4 team in the West. It's between them, the Lakers, and the Clippers. But I just hope that, the Warriors are one of those teams that you're like, oh, the Warriors again. You get sick of them, but you got to appreciate greatness.
No,
And you got to appreciate the fact that you're not going to have too much more of some of these guys that really changed the game. Steph Curry changed the game.
No, he changed the game.
He is his father 2.0 because their game is the same, except his dribble is better and his shot is better.
Yeah. Straight up.
He's got his father's game. He's just a better version of his father.
You couldn't take nothing from Del Curry, but man, you are talking about the number 1 shooter in the league.
Ever.
I don't think obviously we always say we don't think it's going to be broke, but it's going to be a shooter who come around, break it. It's inevitable. It's the evolution of the game. It's just what happens, But then I'm moving on towards Sacramento Kings, man. Coached by Mike Brown, ex-Cleveland Cavalier coach. They finished 48-34. They have the Aaron Fox, the Montes, Sabonis, Malik Monk. They got a squad out there, man. And they're just going to get better. I got them as making the playoffs. I don't think they're going to fall. I think it's going to be, obviously going to be a rough year, but man, they got a winning culture. They got an identity out there, man. And I always thought that the Sabonis pickup was a great pickup. You're getting a double-double guy every night. He's giving you double-double. I like this father. You feel me? Or Venus Sabonis, right? And then you got De'Aaron Fox is like, man, that dude is fat. Man, he's a baller. He's a stud, bro. So I like what Mike Brown did with that squad. I got them making the playoffs. I got them as actually my 5th squad coming out. It'll be between 5th and 4th with them. You feel me? Obviously, be probably 5th and 6th because Dallas is going to win their division. So I got Dallas as actually being my fourth best team coming out the West. I got Golden State as being my 3rd. You know what I mean? Just because of the other teams I got on the slate. So what do you think about the Sacramento Kings?
Again, I think they're a playoff team. I think they are a bottom half playoff team. I think they're 5 or 6, something like that. They got 2 really good players. Their coach he's up and down. He was good last year. He was good last year. Sabonis is a good player. Fox is a very good player. He is like a bottle. He really is.
Kentucky guy. Yeah.
And that's who the Lakers should have taken instead of Lonzo Ball, by the way.
Yes, sir. Yes, they should have. But
they
all
felt the pressure
out
of his father, and they shouldn't have done that, and now he's not even on the team. So I agree with you. I think they're pretty good. I don't think they're ready to win, but they're going to make the playoffs, and maybe they win a round.
They win a round.
But it's so deep that division is so deep. The West is deep. There's so much more parity in the West than there is in the East.
It was so hard for me to pick these teams in the West compared to the East. I already know who I'm pretty going with the East. It is what it is, right? Then you got the Los Angeles Clippers, which is going to be – this is the most interesting team to me right now, bro, honestly. Obviously, they're coached by Tyronn Lue, ex-Cleveland Cavalier, won a chip in Cleveland. He was their coach. They finished 44-38. You got Paul George, you got Kawhi Leonard, you got Russell Westbrook. You actually got a local kid out there, Bones Highland, used to play for Denver. He's out there in LA. You still got Plumlee. They got Zubik. Why is it an anomaly for me is because one, where we know that Kawhi is going to get low management. Paul George them have not been healthy since they've been out there. Since they decided to go out and unite the Clippers, they have not played a whole season together due to injuries. They're both of them in contract years. This is their contract, so I don't know if Kawhi is going to go another place or they're going to try to extend it, which I doubt. I just think that if it ain't this year, which I mean, if they're healthy, they can make a run. If they're healthy, but I just don't see it. I don't see it. I barely got them being the fifth or sixth squad coming out. If they stay healthy, once again, for me, it's health with them. If they're healthy, then yeah, they compete with anybody. If they're healthy, they got a squad, a roster, but they have an injury-ridden roster, man. So that's the problem. That's why I can't lock in the Clippers because I don't know what I'm gonna see with the Clippers this year, brother.
Well, listen, roster-wise, they're as good as anybody. On paper, they are as good as anybody. They are easily top 4 roster-wise. But again, some guys have an injury history, and when your 2 best players on your team miss the most time, whether it's load management or injuries or whatever the reason, how am I going to give them the benefit of the doubt? You got to go by history. And their history says that those guys just don't play. They don't play. They miss a lot of time during the regular season, so they don't get seeded as high as they should. And then one of the 2 guys is going to miss important games in the playoffs. So they're never at full strength. So why am I going to give them the benefit of the doubt? They're not going to get me again. They're not going to get – I thought they were going to win in the bubble during the pandemic. They didn't. I gave them the benefit of the doubt again when they played Dallas a couple years ago, and Dallas beat them.
Yeah,
I'm not giving them they gotta win a series they're supposed to lose. They got to get to a Western Conference Finals before I start to believe in them and pick them. I'm just not. And contract year, non-contract year, you know what Kawhi is going to give you. You know he's going to give you 65% of a season. That's what he does. He doesn't need to be injured to miss time. You can't get him to play. The penalty that the NBA is handing down won't be enough. They're just going to laugh at that. And then teams are going to have to think about whether they want him or not on their squad. He's still a great player, but he misses a lot of time, and the best ability is availability. And you got to want to play. Are you a dog? Do you want to play? No one's wondering about the Joker if he wants to play.
Nope.
The best players demand the most from themselves. Who was the hardest workers in this league ever? Magic, Bird, Jordan, LeBron. They live in the gym. They got big egos, but they know they got to bust their tail to back it up.
Indeed.
That's what they do. That's what the great ones do. I just don't know. I mean, I don't feel like Kawhi has got that. I think he's a great player that's great at something, but I don't think he loves it. I don't think he's got that fire.
Nah.
I really don't. I think if he wins, cool. If he loses next year, that ain't Magic. I heard Magic when he lost to the Celtics. He didn't leave his house for 2 weeks.
Yeah, he was salty.
In his house for 2 weeks.
He was salty.
That's what you got to do. When Jordan got eliminated by Orlando when he came back from his first retirement, he started his off-season program the very next day. He didn't take off one day during that offseason, not one. That's Michael Jordan. That's the best there is, demanding the most from himself. Kawhi doesn't have that.
And it's sad.
And he's your best player, and then George is hurt all the time. He gives you his best, but he's sad because all the time. All the time. I'm not giving the Clippers the benefit of the doubt. I'm not. They should be a top 2, 3 at worst roster. At worst, they're not going to be top 3.
No.
They're probably not going to be top 4.
No.
So now you're going to start the playoffs on the road.
When I made my list, brother, I made my list with the same thought process. I said, man, they are really a top 2 team. But due to the fact of their history, I can't fall into that black hole with them. So I got them literally at 6 or 7 because of that. They'll probably barely make that they'll win their little runs, but then they'll be injured. And then the last team here is the team we just talked about, the first team, which was the Lakers. And we understand there. Darvin Ham, the second year, went on his system. They got some key players. You know, they got Torian Prince, Austin Reeves, Roy Hutchinson, D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Davis. But like you said earlier, brother, and you already know and I know, the key to this whole thing is this. LeBron James is really literally trying to pass this over to you, AD. This is your team, AD. We need you to take over, AD. We can't win this chip off of me, AD. I need you to do the thing, AD. We need you to be that dominant force you was that we know you can be, AD. But guess what, AD? You showed us what you are in the first game of the season. You gave us 17 strong points in the first half. You look unstoppable, unguardable. And then I guess you took the night off after halftime. Guess you went in and watched Netflix. I don't know what happened, man. Might have ate a pizza. I don't know what you did. But I know you came out the second half and you ain't want to play no more. It's like the Joker got bigger and you got smaller. I don't know how that happened, but that's what happened. LeBron James, they have him on limited minutes, okay? Knowing that he's on limited minutes, you got to step up. We got to go through you. I don't want you coming out there taking a charge. We should block the ball. I don't want you coming down there and shooting 3-pointers. I want you to post up. I get tired of it, bro. And you're not going to be durable throughout the year. So once again, the Lakers could easily be a top 4 squad to me, but they're going to end up being probably barely making the playoffs, or they might be a 6 seed. I give them 6 seed because I think LeBron and them, with the pieces around them, that they'll put something together. You're paid.
Listen, as far as big men go, AD talent-wise is probably number 2. He's probably number 2, and he's a better defender than the Joker. But he's got a better shot than Giannis. He's more of a natural scorer. He could take you off the dribble. He should be able to post you up. He's 6'11", and he's all of it. And you know he can hit from the outside. But he takes the easy way out. He shoots too many jumpers from the outside when he should be going down deep. He becomes passive in the second half. I don't need you to be a passer. I don't need you to be looking to get your teammates open. No, that's LeBron's job. Indeed. Score the ball. Score the ball. You're a guy that should be scoring 30, 35 points, not 17 in the first half and then 17 after the game is over.
Yes,
you don't score anything in the second half. Come on, dude. How many times we got to say the same thing about you? For real. It's frustrating. You know, one thing with Kawhi is he just doesn't show up literally. But once he's there, for the most part, he balls out. You're there, dude. You have an injury history too, but when you're there, you still don't show up. I don't get it. You know that arguably the greatest player, one of the top 2 players to ever play in this game, is putting the baton in your hand. He's putting it in your hand, and you're just not taking it. You're not taking it, and it's frustrating. I'm not a Lakers fan. I'm a Lakers hater. I admit it. I always root against the Lakers. So this doesn't bother me in the least. But the fact that I know he can win for them. I saw what he did in the bubble.
Indeed.
He could be doing this. He could be doing this in the regular season. He could be doing this in the playoffs. And he just crawls into a hole for no reason. It's like he gets intimidated. Intimidated by what? You're Anthony Davis. You won a national championship. You won a title during the pandemic. Why do you play like you're afraid? Why do you play like a Keith Van Horn?
Whew. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you already know he's a Nets fan, so you already know he's a Nets fan, so you already know.
Former ball boy, 1987.
Yes, sir. Y'all remember the story. If y'all don't know, y'all need to subscribe, like, and follow. Okay. And before I get out the West and go to the East, man, it was 3 teams that I didn't get to really elaborate in the Northwest. I see one of the teams making the playoffs, bro. And I know you'll probably disagree with me on this one, but I see if they can stay healthy, and that's the Oklahoma City Thunder, coached by Mark. They know, I don't know that guy. It sounds like a French guy. Okay, and they were 40-42 last. They just missed the playoffs last year. Just missed it. Okay, they got Chet Holmgren. He's gonna be, if he could stay healthy, he's a stud. They got SAG, Shai Alexander, Gilchrist, man, he's a problem, brother. He is a problem, brother. Then you got Josh Giddey. You got, man, Okai Obaji, the rookie that came out of Kansas. My fault. I'm sorry. You got Lucas Dort. Man, I mean, they got a squad out there, Oklahoma City. I'm thinking they're going to make the playoffs this year. I got them actually being like my 10th and either my 9th or 10th seed coming out. Because I think that if they could stay healthy with that roster they got out there and win them boys ball, man, they got some talent, man. They got some talent. So that's my sleeper team to make the playoffs.
They got a lot of talent, but they got mostly young talent, and these guys
They do.
They haven't won. They don't know how to win, and they need a veteran that knows how to win to lead the way. Like a few years ago when they had Chris Paul, that was perfect. That was perfect.
Right.
But they don't have a guy like that. I'm not believing in the Thunder. I think they're going to be fun. I think they'll be easy to root for. I think they'll be exciting, but they'll be one of those teams in the fourth quarter when the score is tight. They're not going to control the ball. They're not going to use the clock. They're going to turn it over. They're going to falter in the last 3 minutes of a game. You watch and see how many games are close. And then with 3 minutes to go, all of a sudden the other team goes up by 6.
I can see it. And then you got the Utah Jazz, my brother.
Utah.
That part.
Why they kept that name is still beyond me.
Yeah.
Jazz were from New Orleans.
Indeed.
That makes sense. You name a team from New Orleans, the Jazz. Perfect. Then you go over to Mormon country and you keep the name. You keep the name Jazz.
And speaking of that, not only is their name not worthy of the state, but the team ain't worthy even talk about for making the playoff because they are going to be what they are. They have, Jordan Clarkson, he's a baller. You got Colin Sexton, he'll be there. He's injury prone. Lauri Markkanen, I like Lauri Markkanen out of Utah. He kind of just fit a Utah vibe to me. He was in Chicago. I think he fits better in Utah. And Okai Obaji, that was a rookie out of Kansas. So they'll have a team. They're young, but once again, it's Utah. So I think they'll probably finish with the same record they had last year, 37-45, something around there, 37. They might get 40 wins, but they're not going to make the playoffs, not with that West, And I'm pretty sure you're in agreement with that there.
Yeah.
And then the final team is the Portland Trail Blazers, who's Chauncey. I'm rooting for Chauncey. I like Chauncey, man. But he has a young team. He has Anthony Simmons. He got talent. He got Anthony Simmons. They really got Scoot Henderson, so they moved on from Damian and left Damian Dimes. They sent him over to Milwaukee on a trade. You still got Shaedon Sharpe. DeAndre Ayton came over from Phoenix. And then you got Jeremy Grant, which I like Jeremy Grant game. He's one of them glue guys. So he got some pieces. I just think that once again, it's like you said before, it's being a young team. You know what I mean? So you got to kind of go through what you're going to go through with young teams. But then again, the league will flip because that's when the Golden States will be out and the Lakers will be, moving on. And, it's just certain teams you already know is going to transition. So I don't have them making the playoffs, but they'll be fun to watch.
I don't really have anything to add. I think the Trailblazers will be fun to watch. I don't think they'll make the playoffs either. No. They really they did, but they didn't replace Damian Lillard. I mean, they didn't. That guy is one of the best players in the history of that franchise. There's nobody that's on that team now that you're going to consider, being able to lead them really anywhere. I don't think they will finish under 500, especially in the West. I don't think they make the playoffs. And that saddens me because I used to really root for Portland.
I did, man. I wanted to get one.
In the 90s when they had Drexler and Porter, Duckworth, and Percy, and Buck Williams, and Danny Ainge. I used to like that team. That team that went to the finals against the Bulls.
They went against the Bulls. They went against the Bulls. And then I was rooting for them when they had that team with Scottie Pippen and they had a team then. And it wasn't for, and they could have won if it wasn't for, as we know, the play of all plays. When Kobe Bryant came with the lob and Shaq Diesel caught that joint and he pointed down, he said, yeah. So I wouldn't rooting for him too, brother. So that's our wrap up for the West, y'all. We want to jump on the East. I know it's been a little late, but don't worry, I got it, bro. Chop this thing up. You feel me? I'm gonna go with the East, man. I'm gonna go with the Atlantic Division, man, which I actually got. I got 4 teams coming out of the division, brother.
So do I.
I got 4. Obviously, I got Boston being the top dog coming out that the Atlantic Division. They coached by Joe Mazzulla. They finished 57-25 last year. As we know who they got: Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. They picked up Drew Holiday, Chris Porzingis. They got a squad, bro. I'm in agreement with a lot of analysts when they say that the Robert Williams. I would, because that's a center, and it's hard to replace because what he brought was defensive energy. You feel me? And you already dumped off Marcus Smart. So, but Drew Holiday, you ain't gonna pass that up, bro. He is a baller. He's defensively a great defensive player. Then you're gonna build a team around Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown anyway. So I think they'll be up there. I got them as my team. I got them coming out second out the East. To be honest, you feel me? You already know I got number 1. You know what I mean? In your opinions?
Well, I'm in agreement with you. I got 4 teams out of the 5, and it could be 5, but I'm going to say 4 teams: Celtics, Nets, Knicks, 76ers are the teams out of the Atlantic Division that make the playoffs. I think the Celtics will be the number 1 team in the East, in my opinion. I think that they are loaded. I think them picking up Holiday was awesome. I think that's a better pick than even Kristaps. Yeah. So I like the Celtics as a number 1. I think you know who I like at number 2.
I think we flip flop on that.
But as far as the Atlantic Division goes, I got the 76ers at number 2, but I don't like this Harden thing. I think the longer he's there, the worse they are. He is such a distraction. You got to give him what he wants, which is out, because he's just hurting the team. They're already saying they don't want him to travel with them to their road game this weekend.
He's a tumor, man. He's a tumor, man. He's a tumor, man.
Cut that out.
You gotta cut that out, man. Like I said, like you said, Philly. I got Philly being the second squad coming out the Atlantic. Because you got Embiid. As long as you got Embiid, man. And I like Tyrese Maxey. Tobias Harris is what he is, an overrated journeyman to me. Overpaid journeyman to me. I'm not a fan of Tobias Harris because he is, oh my goodness. Tobias Harris over me? I still can't go back with Jimmy Butler when he said that, man. Tobias Harris? Yeah, Tobias Harris. Y'all crazy as hell. I like him what DeAnthony Melton showed me in the preseason. So if he could continue that, because Nick Nurse is being their coach, would definitely have him defensive focus. Because Doc Rivers, man, much as great as Doc he was, man, he was just, when it came to like critical times in the game, he just literally, I don't know what to do. He like that dude off the water boy. He like the coach off the water boy. He just, it's. So I think Nick Nurse will have him with identity, a defensive identity. They're going to build around Embiid. Hopefully they'll make Embiid go in the paint a little bit more instead of keep trying to shoot these threes, which I'm not knocking a big man for shooting threes, but you're dominant, bro. They can't do nothing with you in the paint. That's easy money. Barbecue chicken, as Shaq would say. Barbecue chicken. Ramen noodles. That's a new one. Ramen noodles. Okay? But y'all got him as a 2. Agreeing with you. And yes, and please let James Harden just get him out of there, man. Let the cancer go. Mm-hmm. I got my Knicks at the number 3 spot in Atlantic. I got my New York Knicks coached by Tom Thibodeau. We are who we are, bro. Like we're a 5th or 6th seed team. We're not winning we're not winning no chip. It'll be an interesting first round, but we're not gonna be like beating nobody the second round. You know what I mean? So it's New York. What can I say? We got RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson. It's really Villanova. It's New York Villanova. That's what we got. We got like 4 Villanova players, man. Yeah. So it's like a Villanova reunion. Okay. Unfortunately, this ain't the national championship, bro. This is the NBA. So yeah, my Knicks are my Knicks. And where you got us at?
In the division, I have the Knicks 3rd.
Okay.
And I have the Nets 4th.
Yeah, me too. And I have the Nets hasn't been a playoff team, so I think they'll be one of the play-in buy-in teams. You feel me? Do I got him as a? Yeah, I got him as a playing buying team. I got him at the actually making the eighth seed. Actually being an eighth seed. Once they play out, they'll be the eighth seed playing against, unfortunately, either Milwaukee or Boston.
Right.
So it'll be fun. And I'm looking forward to Ben Simmons. I think he'll have a good year this year. I actually think Ben Simmons will actually have a good year this year.
I got to see Ben Simmons play before I make a comment about Ben.
I watched him, man, in preseason, man. I mean, he's doing what he does. He's a defensive guy. He's an assist guy. I'm not looking for Ben Simmons to score. We're past that part of his career. He's not going to do that. But he could definitely be a defense. He could be a Bruce Bowen. Okay, he's going to be Bruce Bowen for the Nets. Okay. But,
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe with better ball handling skills.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah. Not better shot, obviously, but yeah.
Bruce Bowen can hit the three in the corner.
No, he can hit the three. That's what I'm saying. Hit that corner three. So he's not that. He's just, And the Toronto Raptors is just, bro. They have a new coach. They got Dennis Schroeder. They got Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam. They finished 41 last year. I don't have Toronto making the playoffs this year. I don't have them as one of my playoff teams.
I don't either.
They could, but I just don't have them there. And then we'll go to the Central, which you got Milwaukee, which I have Milwaukee going against Denver for the finals. It'll be either them or Phoenix that will be playing for a chip. Okay. You can't deny that combo of Dame and Giannis, man. Because Dame, I know he wanted to go to Miami. First and foremost, he coached by only way this won't work is if it's the coach, because their coach is a rookie. He's Adrian Griffith. This is first year there. They were 58-24 last year. I thought Coach Bud could have got it done for real. But we're gonna see. Got Brick Lopez, Chris Middleton, Bobby Portis, and once again, you got Dame wanted to go to a contender. He went to a contender. Okay. Him and Giannis is going to be a problem, bro. It's going to be a problem. So I'm liking Milwaukee be definitely 1 or 2.
I got Milwaukee at 2. The thing with Milwaukee is I don't know if they actually got better.
Ooh.
You would think because of offensively what Dame can do and can probably still do that they're better, but they're kind of a defensive team, and they lost Holiday, which was a very good on-the-ball defender, much better than Dame is. And number 2 is Middleton. Middleton, is he back to being how he used to play, or is he going to be one of these guys that's often injured and doesn't get back to work? Because the last 2 years, he wasn't where he was. He was their second best offensive player. I can take him being the third best now because they have Lillard, but he's still got to be a guy who scores 15 points or more a game. And can he still do that?
Indeed.
Is he?
I got him there. If Chris Middleton's on that floor, bro, he's giving you at least 15 and better. I'm giving him that. Now, the question, like you said, is can he stay healthy? Can he stay healthy? And he's a baller, so I will hope that with Dame coming over, because Dame is a facilitator too. He's going to get his too. So I think he'll be able to get his off. I just think they have a real good team out there, man. They have a veteran team out there, bro. And that's why I think it's going to get them to that level, because they have a veteran team. They have some veteran pieces. Once again, it's the coach for me, man. If the coach can't fit these pieces together and give them an identity, because underneath Coach Bud, they had an identity. So I got to see how the coach, if he does do well, he'll win Coach of the Year this year. Watch. Cleveland. I got Cleveland making the playoffs. Actually, in this division, I actually got 1, 2. I got 3 teams making the playoffs, man. And I might have flipped my third one because I think I'm wrong on that one. I have to see them play tonight. Actually, it wasn't a bad game tonight. Honestly, it wasn't a bad game at all. But I'm sick with my gun. I got Cleveland. They finished 51-31. They didn't lose nobody. You feel me? They got the same squad, so I don't see them not being there. And I still got them probably being as my. I got them being the 5th or 6th seed coming out. They got Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Caris LeVert. They got a team. They got a nice solid team. They're not going to win they're not going to make the championship, but they got a nice team. They got a good first round team. You agree?
I see them making the playoffs. I don't see them winning any round, but they're going to be an exciting team to watch. It's the next team. I have 3.
Okay.
I have a feeling
Who's your
third team is probably not my third team. I got a feeling you're picking the Pacers.
I am.
I'm not.
You picking Chicago, aren't you?
I'm picking the Bulls.
You're picking the Bulls. I knew you was going to pick the Bulls. And you know what? And that's why I said I might have. In my mind, I'm like thinking about flopping them because it's like with Indiana is the fact that it's because they're young. You feel me? But with Chicago is that they get injured. LeVar ain't playing. I mean, he ain't playing.
Mm-hmm.
The Ball brother, the Ball.
Yeah.
Lonzo ain't playing.
Yeah.
DeRozan, he is what he is.
Zach LaVine's still on the team, right?
He's still on the team, but Zach LaVine is an up and down player to me. He's not consistent. Mm-hmm. One day he'll give you 30, the next minute he'll give you fucking 12. You know what I mean? The center is not they're not a consistent ball club. You know what I'm saying? So they finished 40 and 42 last year. Billy Donovan is supposed to be a defensive-minded coach. They didn't play very good defense last year. So I think that with Rick Carlisle going over there in Indiana, I think they'll be a better team. Once again, you're probably right. I think the Bulls will make it. Indiana just miss it again. But I think with the roster that Indiana has, that they can make the playoffs. You feel me?
Right.
And then the last one is Detroit. No. I ain't gonna go in detail. They young. And Monty, I like Monty Williams as a coach. It's just not yet. You feel me? Not yet. Give him a couple years. He did it in New Orleans. He did it out there in Phoenix. He'll do it down here in Detroit too. Just give him some years, okay? And our final division is the Southeast. And I actually got 2 teams, but I'm really on the cusp of 3, to be honest. I really am, bro. Especially what I saw tonight, because I was already leaning. Matter of fact, I do got them as my third team. I'm tripping. I do got them as my third team. I'm with my paper. And that is Miami being the top dog coming out of the division. Because they still got Tyler Hero, they got Jimmy Butler, Bam. And I like the rookie Johnny Jaquez that came out of UCLA. I like him down there in Miami. I think he's going to be a nice rookie. I think he's going to be a nice player for them. He's a dog. And you still got, Kyle Lowry, and they got a team. And it's Miami, bro. They're going to be there. I got Miami actually being my third team. I had a Philly coming out the East. I also got Atlanta. I got Atlanta being probably my 7th seed. You know what I mean? Because you still got Trae Young, DeJounte Murray. They got a team out there. And then it's Quinn Snyder's second year. So now I think by him being able to put his system in there, because he did it in Utah, I think he'll definitely do it in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? He came mid-season last year, so I didn't expect a lot out of him because he didn't put his system in yet. But he will. And watch Atlanta probably him being a 7th seed. You feel me? And my sleeper team is Orlando. It's Orlando. They're young. They're young, but they have a team. As a matter of fact, they played tonight, and they was blowing Houston out. It's up by 20-something before me, and you got on.
So I got caught stinks.
They
Come
bad.
on.
They bad. I'm saying though, you beat who they play in front of you, right? You beat who you play in front of you.
We're gonna do cliches now to talk me into the Magic.
I'm just saying they finished 34-48 last year, brother. They got the Wagner brothers. They got Wendell Carter. They got Markel Fultz. They got Powell Banchor, who went number 1. You feel me? Bro, I'm trying to convince you that these men going to make the playoffs at the 10th seed.
You ain't going to convince me. They're young. I wish them the best, but I feel like I'm singing the same song with them. They're young. They're close, yada, yada. When they make the playoffs, then I'll take interest. I don't think they make 10. I got 2 teams out of this division. You were right with the Heat, and the Heat will be a top 4 team for sure. because they're going to win the division.
Of course.
And I got the Hawks, which is going to
Yeah.
be one of those teams at the bottom.
So
and
you
that's
don't have
it. That's it. No Hornets, no Magic, no Wizards, none of that. None of that. There'll be no bugs. There'll be no wizardry. There'll be no magic and spells. There'll be none of that. You can go play. You can go play Dungeons and Dragons if you want that. You can watch Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring. You can watch The Hobbit, all that junk. But you are not getting me. You are not getting me convinced that the Magic and the Wizards are going anywhere but in the toilet, and I'm gonna flush down.
Yo,
down.
But they got
down.
They got Jordan Poole.
Down.
They got Jordan Poole.
And he's gonna go swimming in the toilet.
He put a 40.
Flush it.
He put a 40 in preseason. He put a 40 in preseason.
Preseason. I've seen Jordan Poole look good until he got punched in the face.
Yeah.
And then he turned into something else. I'm not going to say what he turned into, but let's just say it's Halloween season and we carved them.
Yeah, I mean, Draymond took his heart, man. Draymond's a bully, man. Draymond's a bully. He should have picked on Jordan Poole. He broke his spirit. He has a refresh start in Washington. He's going to be the man out there. Him and Kyle Kuzma. They're going to be the man out there, and I'm agreeing with you. You can take their whole season and flush it down a daggone toilet because they got a rookie coach, Westbrook Jr. And yeah, I'm sorry. Tyus had a good game tonight, though. They actually probably won their first game tonight, brother. I was watching that game. That's what they were playing.
I got someone knocking on my door. Can you hear it? Yeah, that's the little one.
They played Indiana.
Look, man. I said what I said. I'm not going to be pressured. I'm not going to be talked into it. I got my teams. I feel good about it. And that's my wrap for the Eastern Conference.
Yes, sir.
It is what it is. But listen, I very much enjoyed our NBA preview.
Yes, sir.
I want to give the listeners a heads up. Our next show is on Monday, October 30th, Mischief Night. Okay. And we are going to do a top 10 Halloween horror movies / Halloween specials.
Indeed.
Okay. And we're going to have a special guest, hopefully. So there'll be 3 of us on the air. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. And I am also. And I'm telling you, I got some picks for you, my brother.
Good. Let's prep all weekend for it.
Yes, sir.
I love the show. Thank you to the listeners for dealing with our NBA preview. I hope that gave you enough information. Our NFL picks, and we will see you Monday for a Halloween special. For my main man, Larry LL, great to be with you again. Always. I'm your boy Gil. Catch you on Monday. Deuces, y'all.
Deuces, man. Have a good one, y'all. My man.